Walton, Auditorium, Mo Khan on this Friday night. It's the first encounter between the Scarborough Shooting Stars and the Montreal Lions. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, or wherever you are in the world watching this game coast to coast. It's Scarborough, Montreal. It's an Eastern Conference battle. Dwight Walton, good afternoon, good evening to you.
Good evening, Mo.
We're back.
Yes, we are, and I want to send a special shout out to our new sideline reporter, Corbina Ojuro, who's joining us for the first time this season. I know he's looking very much forward to this. Let's get it on, our 5th season together, Mo.
He didn't bring in the chocolate milkshake, though. He brought you a water bottle instead.
Not this time, a water bottle instead, yes.
All right, Dwight, season 5 for both these teams, Scarborough, Montreal. Here they are today. We talk about the experience of Montreal taking on the inexperience of Scarborough. Scarborough pretty much are a bunch of first-timers playing in this league on this Friday night.
You know what? Sometimes when you don't know what you're doing, sometimes you play better that way. When you don't know what's happening in the league, it's a new experience for a lot of these guys. They tend to outplay their inexperience. So we'll see what happens. Like you said, experience for the Alliance, inexperience for Scarborough. But both of these teams are going to be a lot better, I believe, over the course of the season. Right now, I think they're trying to figure things out. Let's see how the rest of the season plays out for both these teams going forward.
And you look at this right now, in terms of what's going to happen in this game here. We talk about Quincy Guerrier, one of the key figures of this Montreal team. He's back in the fold. Ben Stevens is back in the fold. Shimanga's back in the fold. Can these guys will this team? Because remember, the history of the Alliance, fast starts, and they go down here. But again, let's look at the matchup stats now with these two teams coming into this matchup. And again, scoring pretty even, shooting pretty even. Again, first game of the year, would you expect that to be around that average, or will this be below the average?
Well, again, it's difficult to compare seasons to seasons because we've got different cast of characters, different teams, coaches bringing their new philosophies. They're trying to bring in players to get as good a chemistry as you can to start the season. But again, you want to build momentum as you're going towards the end of the season. Let's see how the season plays out.
Let's go for the very first time to our new sideline reporter, Corbina Ojuro, with Coach Jermaine Small of the Montreal Lions.
Thank you very much, Mo. Coach, what are your expectations this season?
I mean, as I say, there's only 10 teams in the league, so there's 10% chance to win the championship. But, you know, for us, it's a journey, one game at a time. And just build off last year. We made the playoff last year, so just try to take another step forward.
You said one game at a time. What are the keys to winning this one game?
Like, number one for me is rebounding. That's a desired thing, and I don't think you can win games without rebounding. And then just playing together and playing hard and representing the home court.
And what are you expecting from the crowd? You've been coaching for the past 2 years here. What are you expecting from the crowd?
The energy. It's almost like a sixth man, right? So, you know, like, especially your home opener, like, you really want to put on a show and show them what we're about, and it's an opportunity for us to establish and represent for the city.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck. Back to you, Mo.
Thank you so much, Corbina. Coming up next, Scarborough, Montreal, game 1 of 24 chapters for these teams. Stay tuned here on CBL Plus, CBC Gem, TSN 690 from the Verdun Auditorium on this Friday night.
Welcome to a new CEBL season. It's been amazing, Canada basketball, to put that platform and give guys an out.
The crowds were bigger, the players got better, the quality of the game got better.
You gotta love it, Canadian Goose.
Fasten your seatbelt tonight because we're gonna have some high energy and some high flying stuff.
This is a trail, this is the real. It's all that I gotta say. I'm in my zone.
No shortage of emotion, no shortage of intensity as anticipated.
Sliding away. What a block from behind.
Yo Quincy, c'est quoi ton objectif pour cette saison?
All right, welcome back here. Dwight, let's take a look at the keys to the game, starting off with the Scarborough Shooting Stars.
Well, I think this is going to be, it's an early season test for both teams, so I'm going to give the keys at the same time for both teams. Both teams obviously want to limit turnovers, at least get a shot at the basket so teams can't get out in transition. Both teams want to establish the paint, whether that's a low post scorer or guards penetrating, getting 2 feet in the paint and spraying it out. And as Jermaine Small said in his pregame interview with Auditorium, defensive rebounding is going to be a key for both teams. You don't want to give up second chance opportunities. Let chance score on the rebounds of the basket.
All right, now it's a starting 5 for Scarborough and Montreal in this game, and we have our 10 contestants coming out here. And we look at it right now, the inexperienced, Javon Johnson, Tynes, Powell, Bediako, Sims, all the veteran edge. Masawe, Hughes II, Guerrier, Lou Williams III, and for the first time, Javon Freeman Liberty, who played in the NBA and have high expectations for Montreal to have him in the lineup today.
Well, as we've spoken at the top of the show here, it's experience, but it's just inexperience. The Alliance are going to want to establish and let these young players know that what this league is all about. It's going to behoove the Alliance to get off to a fast start, so the Scarborough Shooting Stars have to play from behind.
All right, Dwight, some key players to watch out for, and this young man, Charles Bediako, he's had quite the odyssey going from many leagues. Now here he is with Scarborough this season.
Well, Charles Bediako, I think his matchup against Quincy Guerrier is going to be the other key player to watch for the Alliance. It's going to be imperative to see which one of these players establishes their will in this game tonight.
And of course, for the Montreal Alliance, as you mentioned before, Quincy Guerrier being one of the key guys to look out for, what he could bring to this lineup. Second year, high expectations for him.
Quincy Guerrier has that 1 season under his belt, Mo. He's coming off a season full of injuries, but he was eager to re-sign with the Montreal Alliance franchise, wanted to play for his hometown and his community. Let's see if his second season can be even better than last season's past.
Well, we'll see what can happen here with Guerrier and the crew. High expectations. The East very tough this year. Brampton much more improved. Ottawa always a tough bout. We know who the Kings of Canada are for the second year row, and that is Niagara River Lions, led by a new coach. And this whole outlook here. So this season will be very tough. A lot of twists and turns expected for them coming in this year, as we said before.
Once again, listen, you'd like to get off to a fast start, but as we saw with the Alliance last year, after their 4-game winning streak to start the season, things kind of went south after that. You want to build momentum, but of course you want to get off to a good start with a win for either franchise tonight.
Well, we'll see what they can do tonight here as you see the lines being introduced for this first time for the 2026 season. Corbino Doro, Dwight Walton, Mocon on this Friday night. And Scarborough will be in their beautiful white uniforms with black and gray numeral trim. Montreal in their new altered home uniforms with pinstripes now, sky blue numbers and sky blue name as well. So a little bit of alterations with the uniform aesthetics for the Alliance this season.
Let's get it on, Mo. It's time to start our 5th season together. Looking very much forward to it. Once again, to start this game, it's going to be a feel-out process. Let's see which team can impose their will to start this game tonight.
Season 5, huh?
It's crazy, right?
We've now equaled the number of years of Miami Vice from the 1980s.
But you know what? It's crazy. It's crazy how time truly flies. Because I can remember the first night, our broadcast booth was on the other side of the arena, and now we've been on this side for the past 4 years. It's crazy how time truly flies over the course of our lives.
And if you remember, the first encounter with Scarborough Montreal was this game here on this court, which Montreal beat Scarborough for their first ever franchise win.
And J. Cole.
And J. Cole was here, that's right. Yes, J. Cole was playing for the Shooting Stars.
Yes, sir.
So with that, we get ready for tip-off between Scarborough and Montreal on this Friday night. And tip-off is presented by Spalding, the official game ball of the CEBL for this 2026 season. The last act of the CEBL Festival of Games for Scarborough, the recent standards have been below average. For Montreal, they've been trying to raise their standards in year 2 under Jermaine Small. By the end of night 1, one of these teams will set the first standard in this 24-game journey. Montreal, lifetime against Scarborough, 4-9 in the 5 years that they've had their battles. And you think about it this way, Dwight, last year, 5 times they played, 2-3 Montreal went against Scarborough. And the regular season, the road team won the 4 matchups.
Yes, and you know what? I had the fortune of being at the playoff game, Scarborough versus Montreal last season. Montreal gave it a valiant attempt. Very enthusiastic atmosphere in Scarborough for the Shooting Stars, but they came up short. but you can tell that the Alliance are right there with the top-tier teams in this league. Let's see how the season plays itself out.
We'll see how this plays out. Montreal was 9-15 last year. Scarborough 11-13. They were 3rd and 4th place, respectively speaking, in the East Division. And now we get ready for the debut of the new 2026 year for Scarborough and Montreal. Both these teams had scrimmages the last week or so. And so we would imagine that the flow will be a little bit more in sync than playing this game as the first real test.
Truth be told, the scrimmages that they played, a lot of the premier players didn't get the opportunity to play in that game. So these lineups tonight are pretty much new for both teams. So that's why chemistry will be built on the fly. Training camp was very short this year with the early season starts to the season. Let's see which competitive spirit can play out here.
A cauldron noise at Verdun, and a new host of players are underway here with Scarborough going right to left, Montreal left to right for this first half. Back out it comes. Sims on this first possession, watch Pregame. And Scarborough taking their time with 8 left in the shot clock. From the center arc, Powell defers. Sims. And a one and done for the Shooting Stars.
Good defensive possession to start the game for the Alliance.
Gurrier. And he gets hooked and tied. And this will be a whistle with 9:30 left here in this first quarter play.
All the teams want to do this, Mo. They want to get the ball up the defensive backcourt, get out in transition, and try to get early offensive opportunities against the defense that's more scrambled than it is set in the half court.
So Gurrier will go to the line for the first time. 18 times, scored 11+ points, had 26 against Scarborough during the regular season. So he's had some feast matchups against the Shooting Stars the last year or so.
Absolutely, Mo. Coach Small would regularly go to some kind of full court defense here, either a 1-2-2 or a 2-2-1. Let's see if he goes to that early in this ball game.
Yeah, there was the bane for Montreal. It's free throw shooting. Last year they were number 8 at under 70% a game. They're 0-2 to start off this season.
And it continues so far this season.
Sometimes some things never change. Here's Powell. Slipping and sliding is Lou Williams. Coming through for the first hammer, and Javon Johnson scoring 12 games during the G League season, and they're off and running for Scarborough.
Javon Johnson taking advantage of the destroyed defensive possession there, going down the middle for the early slam.
Javon Freeman Liberty trying to spread his wings on his first possession as an Alliance member. Lou Williams coming up, stopping, looking, waiting, kicking from the flats. Gurrier using his delts again. 6 left in the shot clock for the Alliance. Denied and repelled out of bounds, this time by Sims, who scored 11 a game this year during his time in Italy.
Rather than Gurrier shooting the 3, he tried to attack the closeout from the defender. Right there, you see the early dunk by Javon Johnson.
And here's the second. We'll open up his account. Played in Germany, had a high 24 this year, and Montreal's up by 1.
Michael Hughes showing his shot from distance right there.
And that will go out of bounds. Last touch by who? And Francois Bourriette will have a quick conversation with Max Odette and Greg Southwood. And this remains Scarborough ball with 14 left in the shot clock, 8:31 left in the game clock.
Here's the early 3 from Michael Hughes, showing that he's not just an inside presence, showing his prowess from distance.
And we'll see how the energy levels are in this game. Again, it's important, Dwight. First time for a lot of these guys trying to develop the chemistry in live action. Bediako, the sidecar pass. The fade. And the rebound for Gurrier off the miss from Times.
Excellent individual defense from Javon Freeman Liberty right there.
Asawe, the Toronto native, in his second year with the Alliance. Lou Williams, the third, using his back towards the end. Asawe driving against Johnson, and that's popped in the air, well defended by Scarborough again. Coming through Sims. On the byline, up and over, and they're back up by 1.
Excellent secondary make move right there on the individual defense of Quincy Gurrier, using the rim to protect the shot.
Here's Sims. He's open for business today for the Shooting Stars. Here's the second. Here's Gurrier again. And we'll see what Freeman Liberty can do. And Gurrier, you've seen the panache from Quincy Gurrier early days here, attacking the rim with confidence and vigor.
This is what you want to see from Quincy Gurrier. You want to see him put the ball on the deck and force the defense to make a decision here. Here's Amir Sims using the rim to his advantage with the nice reverse lay with the left hand. And right there you see Quincy getting the foul, get the pass from Javon Liberty Freeman. Let's see if he can convert 2 free throws here.
And they're 0 for 3 for the free throws.
All by Quincy. Again, this needs to be fixed early on in the season. Quincy's going to get a lot of opportunities as he's going to use his strength going to the basket.
Yeah, they made about 13 free throws per game last season. And right now, they're 0 4, and if they end up losing by 4 or less, you can look at that talking point at the end of the game.
These are early points that the Alliance are leaving on the board right now. They got to convert later on.
High-low Johnson, another hammer blow, back-to-back dunks for him.
Javon Johnson, 2 for 2, 2 dunks early in this game.
Played at DePaul, actually was teammates with Freeman Liberty earlier. And that's overcooked by Lou Williams III. Another clean for the Shooting Stars. 7 minutes left in this first quarter. They're up by 3. Powell transition 3. Splash.
Early offense off the defensive rebound. Powell surveyed the floor, used the screen, and knocks it down from downtown, top of the key.
Powell was 28% from three-point range this season. Confidence not an issue for him as we're up by 6, the biggest lead of the day. And that is lacking the quality from Freeman Liberty. The idea was there, but the execution was not yet. I think he just arrived yesterday, trying to adapt his sea legs to the Montreal rhythm. Could take him a game or 2.
Freeman Liberty, I think, was worried about the foul more than he was about making the shot. Just go up with confidence, see if you can knock down your early shot, get the jitters out of your system.
Right now, Scarborough is at their free-flowing best, showing the creative influence. And here comes the influence. And that will be influential on the finish coming up, this time from Powell, up by 8.
Horrible sideline defense on the screen roll action, and Powell took advantage.
He was the second. Another one and done for Montreal. Bediako on the cleanup. And Powell looking like the quarterback of this offense from the center arc. And a rebound for Salway.
Powell feeling good about himself, just made a 3. Let's see what was a heat check.
6:10 left in this first quarter play. Rubino Doro, Dwight Walton, Mo Khan. Here's Salway's 3. And that would plank in, and that would ease the angst of the Montreal faithful.
The rim was kind for Kevin Osawe. It didn't look good from the release, but the soft rims here gave him a chance.
A little hop step, Powell back with it already, the hot hand, watched by Lou Williams III. A little give to Bediako, the Alabama. And the Crimson Tide alum will go to the free throw line, and we know about him, you mentioned him before. He's got that alien-like skill set that can make a difference for Scarborough this season.
Absolutely, Kevin Osawe with the late low tag on the roll here by Bediako, committing the foul. Yep. Let's see if Bediako can convert 2 free throws here. Again, it's early in the season. A lot of these teams are still getting the early season kinks out. Not much training camp time. It will get better over the course, but early season, we're seeing some of the deficiencies right now.
This Eastern Conference game is presented by Lotto Max, the official sponsor of the CEBL. And right now it's 11-6 lead for 12-6 lead for Scarborough over Montreal. And making his first appearance, Frankie Mitchell, who last time was in Montreal with Canisius University 2 years ago at the Place Bell. He was a popular figure with the young crowd, signing plenty of autographs. Was coached by Omar Miles at Humber College a couple years.
Big, strong individuals. Like to see the matchup between Mitchell and Hughes II.
He looks like a Himalayan mountain out there with his strength that he has. And it's a 13-6 lead. And in the game for the first time is Trent Johnson, the Toronto native from Houston Christian University. Here is his first touch. Hughes II opened up the game for the points for Montreal. And here is the first 2 points going in for Freeman Liberty.
Excellent backdoor cut off the screen by Freeman Liberty. Excellent pass by Michael Hughes for the easy deuce.
Yeah, Freeman Liberty played for the 905 Raps, the Toronto Raptors, the Windy City Bulls, and here he is with the Alliance. On the protractor it comes, Powell. Post play, Mitchell first touch against Hughes II. Here's his strength. And that's popped back over to Scarborough. Johnson. And a rebound for the Alliance, down by 5. And here's Jalen Anderson. And Boucard can't get to that. Back with Montreal for the second time in the last 3 years. And the forensic touch of Powell, of Hughes II, sends that out of bounds.
You can tell by the second unit here of the Alliance. Jalen Anderson, Trent Johnson, and Guillaume Boucard coming in and giving him some energy.
You're watching the CBL on CBC Gem. Scarborough up by 5.
You don't just fuel your body, you fuel your drive. We're not here to preach hustle. We're here for the ones who show up. You know who you are. The moms who make mornings feel like magic. The runners lacing up before the scroll. The dreamers writing it down before it's real. And we're here for you. Real fruit, real fuel. Booster Juice. Fuel for what's next.
At Cal Tire, we're here to drive the best value around with free rotations, price match, 0% financing, and free flat repairs. We take care of it all for the life of your tires. Chat with our team at caltire.com.
Welcome back. Last season, they split the regular season 2-2, and Montreal lost in the playoffs. Here's some highlights from last year, Dwight. And there's the game where Montreal had a tough outing against Scarborough, where they were outscored quite a bit in the third quarter, 24-6.
And the thing is here, these teams, as you can tell, seem remarkably different. But to Montreal's credit, they stayed in as long as they could. But the talent was simply overwhelming last season, especially the games here in Montreal. Let's see if the tide could turn this season.
Yeah, you think about that game, they were down 48-47 at halftime, and they were outscored in the second half alone, 53-26.
Yes, it was definitely a different second half. But again, I think the games, for the most part, were pretty close between these two teams.
So Jalen Anderson in for the first time this season, and here is Trent Johnson. Ben Stevens, another holdover from last year, back at the center arc. The sidecar pass, working it through. And now it's going through again for Freeman Liberty. It took him a while, but he's now back in rhythm.
Freeman Liberty got his 2 feet in the paint, got balance, nice little floater in the middle.
He was forceful and direct on that finish. And another whistle, and that won't count. And you talk about the size, the girth, the strength of Mitchell against Ben Stevens. That is 2 dreadnoughts going at it today on this Friday night.
These are 2 bigs that are definitely going to battle on the interior. Frank Mitchell trying to send a message early to Ben Stevens.
We'll see what they can do now here with 4:18 left. 3-point lead for Scarborough. Montreal scraped back into this game. And here is Kellen Times from the University of Maine. Played for Delaware this past season. Mitchell on the pirouettes. Mitchell again the byline. And Mitchell again with the 2-pointer. You talk about his value. He led the A-10 in field goal percentage numbers last year. A guy who could find his way through the rim.
If Mitchell gets that deep, it's going to be pretty tough to stop once he gets his shoulders and his low base to the basket.
Well, he only made 229 field goals last year. Byline, Boucard. Rebound, Stevens. 14 left in the shot clock. Johnson, 3. Cash money.
That's got to feel good for the young man from Toronto. Trent Johnson with his first field goal as an Alliance player from downtown.
He was 40% from long range with Houston Christian. Was at the NCAA dunk and 3-point contest in Indianapolis about 2 months ago. A little less than 2 months ago.
Yeah, but there it is once again. Frank Mitchell taking Ben Stevens off the dribble. And there's the early season 3 from Trent Johnson. Welcome to the CEBL, young man. Hope that's a lot for the Montreal Lions going forward.
Quite the fire starter for the Alliance. They were down as much as 7, now down by 2. Thomas on the end line in front of the Scarborough bench. And that's pushed away by Anderson. This remains Scarborough ball. 14 left in the shot clock. 3:32 left on the game clock.
The second unit has definitely done its job for the Alliance, getting them back into the game after the early 9-3 deficit.
Scarborough playing with a bit of freedom, and here is a freedom shot, and you see why on the triple coming in from Trey Thomas, the Bowling Green State native, scoring that.
Trey Thomas coming off the bench and knocking out an early 3 for his first field goal of the season.
And this is a Scarborough team that made about 10 threes a game last season. Anderson jumper, smooth, and that goes through again.
That is what Anderson can do. He can make shots from distance. He can also put the ball on the floor for a couple of dribbles and make shots at the mid-range.
Back through, another rebound. Here come the Alliance, 2-on-2. And this will go off the ankle of who? Off of Scarborough. It remains Montreal ball.
Once again, Both teams want to get the ball off the defensive backboard and get out of transition and get some early opportunities.
Well, Dwight, we know about tire season, and Cal Tire is a proud partner and tire expert of the CEBL. Shop top tire brands and have a peace of mind with Cal Tire price match guarantee. Shop and book at caltire.com. And right now, these tires are running smooth for the Lions, except for the free throw numbers so far in this first play.
The ATO, the early out of bounds play right there, trying to get Quincy Guerrier at the elbow, was overplayed, went back door and got fouled. Excellent recognition by Guerrier on the backdoor cut.
13 fouls each. Here's Shimanga back with it, watched by Mitchell. Post play, Guerrier going right to left. In the trees, and now a clank in for his first 2 points from the field goal range.
Same play was ran out of bounds. This time, Quincy got his 2 feet in the paint and finished with a jump home.
And unfortunately for Phoenix Wise, the CNFX player, U Sports Rookie of the Year in the AUS, his size 13 is out of bounds.
Here he goes once again. Quincy Guerrier getting the ball inside the paint, took his time. Bremen very kind to him on the jump home.
And now back with it is Anderson. Shimanga, Mitchell on him. Looking for the high-low. And now looking for the back door. Lou Williams III. A stunning move by him. And now we're back up one for Montreal.
Lou Williams uses the aggressive defense by the Shooting Stars. Goes back door. Nice left-hand finish.
Mitchell again. And he used the angle perfectly, and they're back up by 1 for Scarborough.
Mitchell with the scowl towards Shimanga after finishing with a tough jump hook off the glass.
Giving a cold dose of reality to Shimanga on that. There's backdoor. Here's Shimanga looking for the reply. Underneath, short, rebound, Scarborough.
Frank Mitchell once again trying to impose his will on the defensive end as well as the offensive end.
Powell back with it. He was hot in the first few minutes of play. Watched by Lou Williams III. 1:40 left in this first quarter of play.
Excellent individual defense by Williams for the crossover.
And a better shot by Powell as he gives it the stare down. And he's a black belt in 3-point shooting, and they're up by 4.
Definitely spoke too soon on that. Powell, good defense by Williams, better offense by Powell.
Gurry watched this time by Johnson, who had 2 hammer blows in the first few minutes of play. Gurry taking a little deep dive inside the fade. And a rebound for Mitchell. And a recovery for the moment, but a foul instead on Lou Williams III with 1:10 left. 4th team foul on Montreal.
Definitely a foul on Lou Williams. I thought he could get a quick steal. But here's Powell right there. Once again, pretty good individual defense by Williams, but better offense by Powell from distance.
And with 1:10 left, Johnson will go off. Hughes second will come back in. Also back in is Bediako for Scarborough, as Wise will get a respite for the final 1:10 of this quarter. And Shimanga's going off as well for the Alliance.
Matchups here, I think we want to see Hughes go up against Mitchell, who's had early success for the Shooting Stars on the interior.
Johnson back with it. And here is Osawe will babysit him on this possession with 1:03 left. Powell thought about it and the reload. He thought he was fouled, and the cleanup and now 6 coming from Bediako.
Great offensive rebound there, and a shot by Powell, who thought he was fouled on the original shot. Nice left-handed finish by Bediako.
Anderson, and he went into the teeth, and he got scraped up by Bediako, and that goes out of bounds with 45.5 left.
It was excellent vertical defense there by Bediako. I'm not sure if the ball went off the Alliance. The Alliance fortunate by the official's call.
Well, he stretched every muscle on that play. Here's Gurry, watched by Bediako. Big versus quick. Anderson. Thomas on him. 6 left in the shot clock from 16. And that lacked the quality, but the finish right there for Hughes, second point, number 5.
Tough fadeaway jump shot by Anderson. Johnny on the spot was Hughes with the offensive putback.
Powell's 3. And a rebound for Bediako with 21 seconds left. Another reload. And they're 0 for 2 on that. Osawe will get it back, and here are the numbers flooding forward for the Alliance. 4 on 3. Osawe, and now ping pong its way through as Max Odette landed in the first row of the end zone seats.
I don't think Kevin Osawe was aware that they wanted to get the final shot of the quarter. Of course, he saw his teammate Guerrier streaking towards the basket, but it would have been a lot better off for Osawe to pull the ball out and get the last shot of the quarter.
Osawe full of tricks and dips, and Sims back in for the Shooting Stars. 10.8 left. Mitchell's off. No subs for the Alliance. Card now back in, I beg your pardon, for a little defensive reinforcement.
The Lions got to play good defense. They have no fouls to give here.
Trey Thomas, Anderson on him. 5 left in the game clock. Over the logo, now to the left he comes. Thomas, twisting, turning, well defended by Boucard. And at the end of one, it's Scarborough 25, Montreal 21. You're watching the CBL live on CBC Gem, TSN 690, and YouTube from Verdun. Scarborough up by 4 after 1. Stay tuned.
For the Montreal Alliance, Coach Jermaine Small was really harping on what he told me before the game, rebounding. He was talking about how the team has to win the rebounding battle. He also mentioned that they have to play better defense in order to stop the Scarborough Shooting Stars from scoring. And that is the message that he was harping on during the timeout, and he's telling his team not to be nervous and to play their game. Mo?
What has to happen here? So Dwight, quarter number 2 upon us. What has to change for the Alliance and for the Scarborough Shooting Stars?
Well, the Alliance need to clean up the defensive backboard, and they got to make some free throws. If you're giving up second chance opportunities and you're leaving points on the board with missed free throws at the free throw line, you're not going to give yourself any chance of success over the course of the game. It is only after one quarter, but they got to clean those things up if they want to get back into this game against the Shooting Stars. The Shooting Stars feel confident, they feel loose. You've seen Thomas and Powell feel pretty confident behind the three-point line, and if they're missing shots, they're giving themselves multiple second chance opportunities.
And we'll see what happens now in quarter number 2. Covino Doro, Dwight Walton, Mocon here on this Friday night. Home opener, again, Montreal won 5 years ago, the very first game against Scarborough on this very court. And you look at the points in the paint, Dwight, in this game, and Scarborough's had a field day. Their heat map has been in the paint so far today.
Well, we saw Javon Johnson right there with one dunk, and there's a second dunk here off the pass from his point guard, and they're feeling pretty good about themselves. And here's the man of the hour so far, Frank Mitchell, imposing his will, his size on the interior, making life difficult for the inside presence of the Montreal Alliance.
Scarborough shot 10 of 20 in the first quarter, Montreal 9 of 19, so pretty much 50-50 again with those two teams. But you mentioned the rebounding numbers, 11-11, but Frankie Mitchell could be the X factor, the guy that really puts this to bed here, and that goes out of bounds. Boucard last to touch it, remains Montreal ball with 9:50 left in his first half of play.
Both teams need to address their defensive backboard. Montreal with 5 early offensive rebounds, Shooting Stars with 4, with the Shooting Stars, because of the missed free throws, have the early 4-point lead. There was Boucard putting his head down, getting to the basket. Let's see if he can get himself off the schneid here.
Scarborough's 2 of 2 from the free throw line, and for the first time this year, Montreal's hit a free throw.
That is correct.
Is it free ice cream for anyone?
No.
I'm not too sure about
Not
that.
yet. We'll see if that can play out. That's good. But let's see here with the early defense. Montreal in 2-2-1 after that free throw.
And we'll see now for the Alliance what they can do here. Johnson back on possession, and back with it is the Shooting Stars. The sky hook, no good. Bediako can't get to that. Boucard, a little foot twister, and he will defer back over towards Freeman Liberty. Boucard, Lou Williams, the third, and here's the second. Tic-tac-toe.
Excellent dribble drive by Lou Williams initially, finding Guillaume Boucard on the baseline, who found Hughes in the middle for the layup.
Powell back with it on the switch of the Sawway. 9-10 left in his first half. Montreal's tied 25-25. Here's Johnson again. The patience of times. And he's slipping and sliding, and this goes out of bounds back down McCowan Road and back over to the Alliance.
The Alliance have definitely improved defensively. Not so much ball movement right now for the Scarborough Shooting Stars, and I think head coach definitely sees that, has called it timeout.
Timeout called by Scarborough. You see the replay there, Dwight. Montreal showing more vim and vigor in their attacking intent here, more marauding than before. They were a bit hesitant at first, but now looking like they're back in their rhythm as before.
I think the Alliance came out with some jitters playing, their first game before the home crowd, and the Shooting Stars got off to an early 9-3 lead, but they have cleaned up defensively, have done a better job in transition. Get on the defensive backboard, get out in transition on their own, and see if they can get some early baskets.
You don't just fuel your body, you fuel your drive. We're not here to preach hustle. We're here for the ones who show up. You know who you are. The moms who make mornings feel like magic. The runners lacing up before the scroll. The dreamers writing it down before it's real. And we're here for you. Real fruit, real fuel. Booster juice. Fuel for what's next.
At Cal Tire, we're here to drive the best value around with free rotations, price match, 0% financing, and free flat repairs. We take care of it all for the life of your tires. Chat with our team at caltire.com.
We have some very special guests with us today. The Montreal Victoire players, they're in playoffs. They won their first game yesterday. Megan, how are you enjoying this game right now?
It's been great, super fast paced, high energy. We're loving the music right now.
Last night, you guys won in overtime, 2.1 seconds. Your teammate Nicole Gosling scores, and then Abby Rock, with her head, wins it in overtime. What was that moment all like?
Yeah, it was a super exciting game. Obviously playing at home too, in front of all of our fans. It was super fun and glad we got the win.
And Sandra, what can fans expect from you guys tomorrow when you play game 2?
I think we're just going to keep going. We're going to take the momentum from the last game and go into the next game and give our best, and hopefully we can make the fans proud again.
So the Montreal Victoire have game 2 tomorrow as they try to win the Walter Cup and become the first Canadian team to ever do so. Mo?
Thank you so much, Kabina, and good luck to the Victoire. They're playing the Ottawa Charge, who knocked them out last year in the PWHL playoffs. And here they are looking to extend their stranglehold, perhaps a 2-0 lead. You know, Dwight, they used to call me the Bombay Connor McDavid in my time of hockey. And here comes Scarborough trying to get themselves forward here and trying to get the lead again. Johnson finding its way through, and back in the hands of Johnson it goes. Mitchell from the free throw line. He's got the size, the twist and turn, the extra pass, open for the flats, and a miss for Bediako. And Freeman Liberty will bring it back up. Boucard denied by Bediako. A reload. And that will find its way through into the hands of Osawe. Another offensive rebound for the Alliance. And back over it comes to Freeman Liberty again. And the ringing of the Liberty bell comes up big for him that time.
If you give a team multiple opportunities, Mo, teams will take advantage of it. Freeman Liberty right there, going from distance.
And Okoye Watts will come in for the first time this season. That's overcooked by the Stars. And now they're down by 3. Montreal trying to extend the lead. Osawe playing the quarterback position, looking for the killer pass. And that wasn't the pass. And here comes Powell, who will pass his way through for 2. And they're down by 1.
Very nonchalant pass right there from Osawe, trying to get to Freeman Liberty, and Powell taking advantage.
Turnover number 4 for the Alliance. Boucard, open, corner pocket 3. Cash, money.
Dribble penetration by Freeman Liberty, finding Guillaume Boucard at the 45, who felt that his teammate Lou Williams had a better shot, knocked it down for 3.
Montreal 4 of 5 from long range today. That's been a big talking point for them so far. Another turnover, and now 2-on-1. Boucard, Williams the third, the alley, and the arching crash converted by Boucard.
Kevin Tynes got himself in the air without a plan, turned the ball over. Nice finish by Boucard.
Bediako, and we are going the other way. Montreal up by 6 with 6:52 left in this first half of play. Tail of the tape right now, Dwight. You can say it's now in the hands of the Alliance for momentum.
Momentum definitely has shifted. Excellent transition defense by the Alliance. Scarborough Shooting Stars were trying to get out in transition. There was Boucard giving the ball up early to Williams, who gave it back. to Burkhardt for the easy lay. And there's Hughes taking the charge on Bediako. Let's see if the Alliance can take advantage of this possession.
Montreal back in possession. New Era, the exclusive game uniform partner of the CEBL and all 10 of its teams from coast to coast. Pick up your official gear on CEBL.ca, and a miss by the Alliance. And here come the Shooting Stars. Powell on his horse. And the rebound right back over to Freeman Liberty. Burkhardt. That was nearly taken away. Johnson has a three already, and that's a little showtime finish by Hughes the second.
Excellent vertical defense by Trent Johnson on one end. Then he makes the nice pass to start an easy lay by Hughes.
Montreal Grizzly on defense, and here's the Grizzly Bear himself and Mitchell, and they're down by a score of 35-29.
Right now, the best offense for the Shooting Stars is get the ball inside to Frank Mitchell.
He's been the creative influence and the danger zone for the Alliance in this first half of play.
Without question.
Who's the second? Backdoor. And that is the dark arts of basketball displayed by the Alliance.
We've seen several backdoor plays initiated by Hughes. Third assist for Hughes tonight.
And Scarborough has gone rather cold, like Drake's album cover from long range this quarter of play. Anderson. Here's Burkhardt, and he'll slow down the tempo with 5:25 left in this first half of play. Dwight Walton, Davino Dora, Mo Khan this Friday night. Montreal up by 8 over the Shooting Stars. Anderson, eyeball to eyeball with Mitchell, going in the jungle. And he gets fouled and will go to the line for the first time in the sequence.
Excellent move by Jalen Anderson, who saw that he had Mitchell, saw he had a mismatch, didn't settle for the three, wanted to get into the middle of the paint and create contact. There's the Hughes dunk right there off the pass from Osawe. Here's the backdoor pass once again from Hughes, finding a cutting Javon Freeman Liberty with the backdoor layup. Hughes, the second, has definitely been a catalyst from the free throw line with his backdoor passing.
Anderson, 4 points so far. He's played over 6 minutes of action, missing his free throw. And Montreal now from the line today have not done so well, Dwight. They're now 2 of 6.
Well, they're winning the offensive rebounding battle, so that's kind of compensating for the missed opportunities here at the free throw line. But the Alliance still find themselves up by 9 early in this game.
And right now it's been directed purposeful by the Alliance in this first half. And Scarborough was delicate and deadly in the first 4 or 5 minutes of play, but they have lost a bit of the grip. Here's Times from the line. And right now that basketball net looks like a keyhole. Here's Anderson. He is feeling it right now. The jumper, smooth. And the Alliance are now up by 11.
That is definitely what Jalen Anderson can do. Like I said, he can shoot the ball from distance, but he can also put the ball on the floor and make shots from the mid-range.
Sims. And that is going towards Adjecors. And this goes back towards the Alliance.
I believe we're starting to see the inexperience play itself out here in the first half for the Scarborough Shooting Stars.
And you talk about the likes of Cat Barber, Smith, Walker, former Alliance member, Steven Short on that. He played in Mongolia. He mentioned how it was much colder in Mongolia than it was in Montreal.
Minus 30 every day, he said.
And now the negotiation from Thomas, and finally a breakthrough as they find a crack in the Montreal defense, and they're down by 9.
One of the few defensive breakdowns here in the first half. Thomas taking advantage with the floater in the lane.
And remember, that was their heat map in the first quarter, points in the paint, and so far it was non-existent in this quarter. Stevens, ambitious, and this goes the other way in favor of Scarborough.
Jalen Anderson went up in the air once again without a plan. He luckily found a teammate in Ben Stevens, but he was out of control. Excellent defensive play by the Shooting Stars.
And there's a highlight right there for Stevens missing that one.
The Alliance got to feel good about themselves right now. Once again, they got off to that slow start early here in the first quarter, in the first half, but they've established themselves on the offensive glass. They've taken care of the defensive rebounding, which has enabled them to get out in transition and score against a scramble defense more than a set defense of the Shooting Stars.
Right now, Montreal up by a score of 40-31 over Scarborough. Stay tuned here, and now looking at this highlight pack for the Alliance, Dwight, they have been finding a way in the second quarter play.
There's the first of 3 backdoor cuts that Hughes has found. First from Freeman Liberty, then Freeman Liberty knocks down a 3 from the corner. but Freeman Liberty gets himself into the paint. 2-foot stop, nice jump look over the top. Excellent vertical defense right there by Trent Johnson. Enables the Alliance to get out in transition. Johnson to Freeman Liberty to Hughes for the slam dunk. And here again, once again, backdoor cut, nice pass, finding Freeman Liberty with the layup. This has enabled the Alliance to get this 9-point advantage here late in the second half. First half, excuse me.
Dwight, I know you're a social media influencer out there.
A little bit.
Don't forget, follow at CBL League on all social platforms to stay up to date on stats, storylines, and more from all 10 teams in Canada's Pro Basketball League. Shorty social media platforms here, Dwight. You have them all, my friend.
Hold on. What is your platform?
I go with the burner account.
Oh, is it really?
Mocon19 is the burner account.
But the thing is, here, the problem with that is I can get you a lot of trouble, a ton of trouble.
You know you got Kevin Durant in trouble, allegedly. But right now, the Alliance are up by 9. Is Scarborough in trouble late in this first half?
Let's see. The Alliance did have some issues last season closing out halves. Let's see if the Shooting Stars can add to those roles.
Tom is back with it. Here is the young man, and that is a miss for Duaut, and with it is a long pass to Lou Williams III. The transition for Guerrier, and right now another turnover by the Alliance. That is now number 6 of the day. Dwight, Quincy Guerrier has not had a Quincy Guerrier day yet, but the luxury of the other players, his supporting cast members, have played very well for him.
Yes, they have. They have taken care of the early season woes for Guerrier. The Alliance showing their depth right here early in this first half.
Times 3. And a rebound back to Duaut again, and this will be another whistle with 3:26 left, and that will be the second team foul on the Alliance, 3 on Scarborough in this first half.
Duaut has come off the bench for the Shooting Stars. Definitely wanted to get himself involved early. Took a poor shot, I believe, on his first possession. Makes up with it from there, right there, with a second chance opportunity.
Here is Duaut. And Bediako, I beg your pardon, on the finish like a kangaroo in water. He jumped out of that and makes an easy layup for him.
Bediako buried Guerrier on the out-of-bounds play underneath the basket. Used sort of a chicken wing to escape from. Made a nice layup.
Freeman Liberty. He thought he was fouled. We play on. And now here comes Scarborough. Could this be the moment of run? Times, looking, waiting, deferring, open from the center arc. And another rebound for the Alliance on the cleanup by Johnson. The Solway will slow it down, 2:50 left, and the Alliance trying to calm down the heartbeats with 15 left in the shot clock.
Trent Johnson has acquitted himself quite nicely in his first game.
And Freeman Liberty, and this will be a whistle, and Sims not happy about some sort of language communication with his Scarborough teammates.
Listen, again, it's early in the season. We've spoke early and documented how the Shooting Stars have lack of experience. There's Freeman Liberty. Thought he got fouled on the drive. The Shooting Stars got the ball at the offensive end here. But I just think right now, the Alliance, their experience is showing a lot more here early here in the first half.
That's voice of Dwight Walton, Rubino Adora, Mocon here on this Friday night from Verdun Auditorium. The first game of 24 for both these teams. Montreal will be back here on Tuesday night against the Saskatoon Mamba. And right now, it is the Alliance who've been dancing their way through in this first quarter, in the first half, up by 7 off the shoe of the Scarborough Shooting Star. And this remains Montreal ball with 2:28 left.
The Shooting Stars right there with the excellent defensive possession. They closed off all options that Jermaine Small drew up on that out-of-bounds play.
Those pipes clogged up real quick.
Yes, they did.
Guerrier back with it. 10 left in the shot clock for the Alliance. Guerrier muscling his way through. And this will pop its way into the hands of Sims. And here comes Powell, and they have numbers in their favor. Powell. And this will be another delay call and a foul on Montreal with 2:12 left in this first half.
Although it may have looked like a charge that Guillaume Boucard took for the Alliance, I believe that one of his feet was probably inside the block charge circle, causing Greg southward to make the blocking foul on Boucard. Let's see it here in transition. I believe Boucard might have been moving a little bit, but I also think either one or both of his feet were on the block charge circle, enabling right here Powell to go to the free throw line for 2 shots.
Boucard, second tour of duty for the Alliance. He played last year with NRL, won the CEBL title with the River Lions. hoping to win a second ring in his illustrious career in the pro ranks.
And the hope is to bring that championship experience, which he has a ton of, here to the CBL with the Alliance.
Powell 1 of 1, and Scarborough is now on a 3-0 run, making it a 4-0 run.
And this is the end of the half struggles that continue for the Alliance this season. They had momentum with a 40-31 lead with just over 4 minutes to play. Now as we approach under 2 minutes, Scarborough's scratched back to a 5-point deficit.
Montreal laboring, and another turnover this time unforced by the Alliance. And all of a sudden, in 2 blinks of the eye, Scarborough is 2 scores away from tying this matchup.
The momentum has definitely shifted back into the Shooting Stars' favor. Let's see if they can capitalize on that turnover over and back at the half-court line.
And Scarborough trying to regain a grip of this game and inflict more pain to the Alliance. Post play, well defended by Osawe. Here comes Freeman Liberty. Here is Osawe again from the 45. Off the heel, reload, and into the hands of Freeman Liberty again.
Another second chance opportunity for the Alliance.
And now he'll defer back to Osawe. 6 left in the shot clock, inside the paint. He's 0 of 2. And this goes out of bounds off of Bediako. Osawe was using his improvisation on that.
Coach Terrell Verdun cannot be happy with the defensive rebounding right now of the Shooting Stars. They're giving the Alliance way too many second chance opportunities. Let's see if the Alliance can capitalize on this latest opportunity.
1:35 left in this first half of play. Boucard, and a bit of tickling going on with Sims with 1:36 left as he held him up slightly.
Yes, had this been inside the final 2 minutes of the fourth quarter, it would have been 2 free throws, but the Alliance are in the penalty, so they're going to the free throw line here for 2 shots.
And with that, timeout call by Jermaine Small. We want to talk about it here, Dwight, with them up by 5. They've gone a little bit cold of late from the field. What's got to change for the Alliance? Because Scarborough's figuring them out now late in this first half.
I don't think anything has changed. It's got to make shots, but Scarborough has done a better job trying to control their offensive tempo. But as long as the Alliance continue to crash the offensive glass, they're going to have more success than the Shooting Stars will tonight. I think that timeout was called by Jermaine Small because they want to do some form of defense after hopefully the 2 successive free throws by Guillaume Boucard. It's either going to be 1-2-2 or it's going to be a 2-2-1 opportunity for the Alliance defensively.
And we'll see here as well what they can do. And don't forget, at halftime, a profile Alliance forward Ben Stevens. Kubina will interview Coach Kernan. We'll break down the stats in the first half and revisit Dwight's player to watch. All this and more from the Verdun Auditorium. Kubino, Doro, Dwight Walton, Molcon on this Friday night. And right now, Montreal trying to avoid bottling this first half with them up by 5 with 1:36 left to go. And by CEBL standards, Montreal is showing the class, but Scarborough has been the class of late. Albeit though last year they were 11-13, Dwight, and that was below the standards of what Scarborough has always aimed for, being a former champion in this league.
But again, they bring so much talent to the table. You really can't look at the record of the past champions of this league. For example, Niagara lost their final 5 games of the regular season last season and ended up winning the championship. So a lot of the times, I think the season is so much in flux and it's so fluid, whoever gets hot at the right time will end up winning the championship.
And don't forget, it's a different format now. It's best of.
Yes.
So no more host city.
No more automatic bids for the host city.
No more automatic bids. So the games become even more imperative because you want to get home court in the early rounds and perhaps for the final as well.
Without question, but that's why these early season wins, of course you want to bank them, but at the same time you want to gain momentum instead of falling apart midway through the season.
And that's the one downfall for the Alliance in their history. They've always started off well, but have had their downfalls by mid-June and beyond, trying to avoid that hex that has been on them the last few years.
The Alliance have fallen back into a 2-3 zone after the 2-2-1 pressure.
Could they pick the lock in the 2-3 zone? Here's Johnson. High-low, Bediako and White. And he will go to the line with 1:15 left. And you talk about the engine room, and Bediako and Mitchell have been the engines, being the big men for this Scarborough attack.
What you want to do against the zone, Mo, is you want to attack the seams. Right there, Trevon Johnson saw the crease in the defense, came to a nice stop, found Bediako, drawn the contact from Osawe. Let's see if he can complete the 3-point play.
Bediako at the line today. And so far, he has 13 points. And the cleanup right there for Johnson, as Montreal was asleep at the wheel, and they're down by 3.
Yuan has shown activity early in his early stint here. Johnson with his 3rd dunk of the first half.
A hat trick of dunks for Johnson. Here's Hughes, the second, who had a good first quarter play for the Alliance. Asawe, wide open, tough play, and he is fouled and will go to the line. And Kevin Asawe, in year 2 of the Alliance, showing more confidence, more marauding ability. He's got that Buccaneer in him, and he's really shown no fear at all.
Well, Asawe is still trying to transition himself from being a power forward where he's used to being in the lane as he bulldozed Powell to get that ball, drawing the foul on Frank Mitchell. But Asawe is still trying to develop himself into a perimeter player. He is more comfortable as a 4-man, but has definitely have done a pretty good job of making the transition. But the Alliance, Mo, if they can't make free throws, these missed opportunities may come back to haunt them later on in this game. Let's see what happens.
They're 3 of 9 from the free throw line. That's 6 missed easy points, now 4 of 10. And as you said before, they're up by 4, but again, if they lose by 4 or less, or anything of that nature, the free throws miss, it could be costing an opening night here. Mitchell back with it, watched by Hughes, second give and go. Johnson, and he finds his way through, and now down by 2.
Excellent dive to the basket, an excellent pass by Frank Mitchell, finding the cutting Johnson over the top.
30 seconds left in this first half of play. Here is Asawe. Here is Hughes, a second. Overload to his left. 10 left in the shot clock for the Alliance. Freeman Liberty backing up and watching by Yuat. 5 left, and that was a Greco-Roman wrestling finish by Hughes, a second. We go back the other way with 15 left on the game clock. Shot clock will be off. Timeout called by Scarborough. They want to talk about it and figure out how to get maybe the time points or the go-ahead baskets.
Yuan maybe hasn't scored a basket as yet, Mo, but he has definitely had an impact on both ends of the floor. It wasn't a coincidence that once he came into the game, the Shooting Stars regained the momentum that they had early on over the Alliance in this game.
12-2 run for Scarborough after being down by a score of 41-29. And you said it before, Dwight, it has been a pandemic for the Alliance, late first halves in 2025 that is carried over for them now. And for Scarborough, you tie this game up at minimum, or you even get the go-ahead basket, you got momentum and the confidence went back to the locker room.
Well, as we approach halftime, as we're seeing the three-point shooter from the Alliance, that was Michael Hughes with the first 3 of the season for the Alliance, that Kevin Asawe was able to knock down with the rim, being very kind to him. There's the quick pass from Boucard, finding Lou Williams in the short corner for the 3, and then Ben Stevens finding Trent Johnson for his first field goal, his first 3 in the CEBL, and then Freeman Liberty finding goal from the corner for the Alliance. So the Alliance have made shots, they've controlled the offensive rebounding, but the Shooting Stars have to feel pretty good about themselves as they've regained the momentum as we approach the halftime, only down 2, with an opportunity to either tie it or take the lead as we go to the halftime.
And we'll see now what they can do here with 15.5 seconds left in this first half play. Here is Powell, who was hot in the first quarter. Mitchell was hot midway through the first quarter, and here he is. Mitchell for the tie. Rebound, Hughes second, and another whistle, and we are going back the other way. And Hughes second, pleading his innocence, but it will be Scarborough ball with 2.9 left.
It was pretty obvious to me, Maho, that Michael Hughes, once he got the offensive rebound, although it may have been intentional, he definitely clipped Bediako in the face. Let's see if the Shooting Stars, with 3 seconds to go in the half, could take advantage. Once again, they could either tie it or take the lead with a last-second 3.
Last action this first half. Powell back with it for the lead. And at the end of the first half, Montreal 43, Scarborough 41. Look at the stats right now. Montreal 45% from the field, Scarborough 45%. Leading point getter, Bediako with 12 so far. Meanwhile, Gurry has, or Hughes second has 9 points in this first half of play. So really, Dwight, Montreal's showing some brilliance and some madness, and the same thing can be applied for Scarborough. They showed their brilliance and madness at times in this first half.
Well, as we know, basketball is definitely a game of runs. Momentum has shifted several times. Scarborough had the momentum approaching halftime.
Let's go to Corbino Dora with Javon Freeman Liberty of the Montreal Lions.
Javon, you guys are up by 2 going into half. What did you like about that first half?
Our effort. I feel like our effort was always there. We just out here having fun. So I feel like if we just keep doing that, we'll be great.
What kind of adjustments need to be made in the second half?
Oh, we definitely got to box out. We're giving up too many offensive rebounds down there. It's definitely unacceptable, but that's something we got to figure out. We got to make sure we do in the second half.
And what is the message you're going to tell your teammates coming out into the third quarter?
Just hit first. When the shot go up, hit first, box out, grab a rebound, and just calm down. We good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Back to you, Mo.
Well, he's good. Feeling comfortable right now. Thank you very much, Gabino Doro. At halftime is Montreal 43, Scarborough 41. You're watching CBL Live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and TSN 690.
Steven, transition.
Hi there, I'm Ben Stevens. I'm from Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada. I'm a center for the Montreal Alliance, and this is my second year back with the team. Being in the CBL for my journey, it's huge, right? Like, I'm super grateful, and I think, playing in such a talented league and such with great players, it's always beneficial for your career. For me, playing basketball in Halifax, it's a huge basketball community. Like, hockey's obviously number one in Canada, but I'd say basketball is competing out there for the top spot. Like, if you think about the U Sports and the Nationals, if they had Nationals in Halifax every single year, it'd be sold out, jam-packed. It's the number one venue. Basketball's a big thing in out east. There's not much exposure out there out east, especially growing up. Nowadays you got social media's popping, so if you got film, you're able to get noticed way easier. I think back then, growing up, it was a lot more difficult to get that exposure. You'd have to go, let's say, to those circuits down in the States, go to Ontario, play some tournaments and stuff. Out east, not much exposure. So you had to work a lot harder, communicate, reach out to people. That was a big deal. For me, the support from back home, it's been huge. Coming back to Halifax, getting to reconnect with those old coaches, needing gym time, reaching out to past coaches. I'm hitting them up and hey, can I come work out here? They're like, yeah, absolutely. And then just the love that I feel when I'm back home, it's amazing. So players from the East Coast, I think because there's so few of us that have made it to the professional level compared to Montreal or Toronto, Vancouver. There's a sense of pride and wanting to do right by your city and represent out east and give Halifax and all the maritime provinces, good name, good rep. So there's definitely, a sense of pride for us, for sure. Yeah, my basketball journey has been interesting, especially coming from U Sports and not having necessarily the most outstanding U Sports career. My first 4 years, I think I averaged under 10 points and under 10 rebounds. And then my 6th year and 5th year of eligibility at La Laurier, I was able to average maybe 10 and 10. Lucky enough, had a connection down in Australia. My buddy Shadir Tenney, he gave me a great opportunity to meet some people and get some film out to the team in Bunbury, Western Australia. And luckily I got a great job and opportunity to go down there and kind of just propelled my career. Averaged 18 and 13 that first season, and then boom, it started snowballing. And then, yeah, from there I went on to Europe and Asia, and it was great. So it's my 4th year now, and I'm loving it so far. And it's really impressive, to go, because there's no respect for U Sports overseas. When I went overseas, they're like, Canada basketball, what's that? We just know D1, D2. It's a much bigger deal when you come from U Sports and go make it professionally over in Europe. I think you mentioned the development of players and the coaching in Canada, Ontario, Montreal, Halifax. It's unmatched. People are trying to prove a point that we are, just as good or if not better than the rest of the world.
Let's bring it on. It's game time. It's showtime. And it goes. Nick Hornsby. Here's Oakland for the win. You gotta love a Canadian news. Two hands. Oh, what a block from behind.
Bottleneck now has more?
Oh yeah, up to 90 new prizes of $100,000 on every draw.
Yeah, right. And aliens exist.
What? Lotto Max has more prizes?
Yep, that's more chances to win.
Sure, and horses can fly.
No way.
Cool.
You don't just fuel your body, you fuel your drive. We're not here to preach hustle. We're here for the ones who show up. You know who you are. The moms who make mornings feel like magic. The runners lacing up before the scroll. The dreamers writing it down before it's real. And we're here for you. Real fruit, real fuel. Booster Juice. Fuel for what's next.
All right, welcome back here. Here's the first half highlights in this game, and Dwight Scarborough started off like a shooting star.
There was Jovan Johnson getting the ball on the deck, finishing strong. His first 2 baskets were dunks. He had 3 overall in the first half. There was Powell feeling good about himself with the transition 3. Quincy Guerrier getting the ball at the elbow, feeling comfortable over the left shoulder with the jump hook, with the kind rim. Jovan Johnson finding Mitchell, who has done some serious damage so far in the first half, getting 2 feet in the paint and scoring in the interior. Michael Hughes has had an overall solid game with his passing, rebounding, and scoring. And the new Alliance player, Javon Freeman-Liberty, with the early success from downtown. There was Boucard with the over-the-top layup. There's Freeman-Liberty again, another layup by the Alliance. Trent Johnson to Freeman-Liberty, finding Hughes for the 2-handed dunk. There's Thomas getting the split defender in jail. Nice jump, nice floater at the basket right there. And then there's Tynes finding Bediako, who buried Quincy Guerrier underneath the hoop with the nice left-handed finish, with the Alliance having the 2-point lead at the half.
Well, you see the monopoly of 3-point shot making for the Alliance. 62% from long range, or 5 of 8 from long range so far today, Dwight. Field goal numbers are pretty much even. Assists or even rebounds are pretty much even. But again, 3-point shooting is the reason why Montreal is in this conversation with Scarborough going towards quarters 3 and 4.
3-point shooting and the offensive rebounds have given the Alliance the early 2-point lead at the half.
Yeah, Alliance have 9 offensive rebounds in this first half. Stay tuned, coming up next, second half action. Scarborough, Montreal, Alliance up 43-41. Stay tuned for more plot twists from Verdun Auditorium on this Friday night.
Lotto Max now has more?
Oh yeah, like up to 90 new prizes of $100,000 on every draw.
Yeah, right. And aliens exist.
What? Lotto Max has more prizes?
Yep, that's more chances to win.
Sure, and horses can fly.
No way.
Cool.
Let's bring it on. It's game time. It's showtime.
You gotta love a Canadian booze. Two hands, me. Oh, what a block from behind.
At Cal Tire, we're here to drive the best value around with free rotations, price match, 0% financing, and free flat repairs. We take care of it all for the life of your tires. Chat with our team at caltire.com.
All right, welcome back here to Verdun. It is Dwight Walton, Covino, Dora Mocon. The players to watch, Charles Bediako, Quincy Guerrier. Dwight, you highlighted those two guys. I apologize, it's 6 points for Bediako. I can't read my sheets. But only 8 points combined by both those guys. How important will those two figures be for each squad today?
Well, I think both teams have done a good job of sort of covering up for their deficiencies, talking about Bediako and Guerrier early in the first half. Bediako has had the better of Guerrier. I think Guerrier needs to see the ball go in the basket. He has that one jump hook early in the game, but he has shown deficiencies at the free throw line, going 0 for 4. Here's Quincy right here, getting a defensive rebound. He needs to continue to do that, try to push the ball himself in transition. Here's where he feels most comfortable. Got the ball at the nail, took his man down on the block with an early jump hook over the left to left shoulder. But at the same time, Quincy wants to see the ball go in at the free throw line. He's going to get multiple opportunities. He's very strong inside the paint. Yes, he can shoot the three, Mo, but his strength, his bread and butter, is getting 2 feet in the paint and trying to score at the basket.
Let's go now to Covino Dora with Coach Verdun of the Shooting Stars.
Coach, you're down 2 at the end of the half. What did you like about the first half?
Just our ability to weather a storm. I thought we started out the game the way we wanted to. Fatigue hit us a little bit, first game back. But, we were able to weather that storm and came back and, in the second quarter, which, end of second quarter, which, showed grit, showed a group of guys that, they were able to kind of get hit and be able to punch back.
All the players on your team are making their CEBL debut. You're basically the most experienced person on this team. What was the message going into halftime to come out in the third quarter?
You know what? To just, stay calm in the storm. When things go bad, just stick to what we practice in training camp. Find the mismatches that we want to attack. And then defensively, just making things difficult. Instead of it just playing checkers, you want to play chess a little bit. Force them to, have more movement, get more side to side, force more passes, and get back and build our defense in transition.
Thank you very much, Coach. Mo?
Thank you so much, Kabina. And if Coach Verdun and I played checkers, I would do a double move on him and beat him on 2 moves. All right,
That
so
is right.
you saw the fact that what he said right now with his team, right? Yes, they're inexperienced, but they're hungry, and they want to play better in the second half.
One of the keys coming into the game, Mo, was establishing the paint. Well, Javon Johnson definitely did, having 3 dunks here. We're seeing 2 of them that he had in the first half. And of course, Frank Mitchell, who was just dominant in that first half on both ends of the floor, definitely establishing himself. Once he gets anybody that deep, he's definitely going to score in the paint. And the 3-point shooting has definitely catapulted the Alliance in this first half. The first 3 of the game from Michael Hughes II. Here's Kevin Osawe sizing up his defender, knocking down a 3 from the top of the key. Then quick pass from Guillaume Boutard, finding Lou Williams in the corner for the short corner 3. And then Ben Stevens with a dribble handoff for Trent Johnson's first 3 of his CEBL career. There's Osawe finding Freeman Liberty in the corner for the short corner 3. And that right there has definitely catapulted the Alliance to a 2-point lead here at the half. Once again, take away both keys for teams. Take away second chance opportunities, build a wall in transition, and convert free throws. Team that can make free throws, I believe, will end up having success and winning this ball game.
Well, right now, both teams have combined to go 10 of 17. Montreal's missed 6. Scarborough just won 4 of 5. So really, it's a +7 in the free throw attempts. But right now, Montreal's not penalized or punished Scarborough in hitting those free throw attempts.
Well, like you said, 9 offensive rebounds and the 3-point shooting has given the Alliance some breathing room here, but they got to clean up a lot of things. Both teams do. But the Shooting Stars, as Coach Verdun said, they showed a lot of grit. They had momentum going into the half. Let's see if they can convert with that momentum early here in the third quarter.
Well, the ball never lies, and right now it has not lied in this game. It's still in the balance. It's Montreal 43, Scarborough 41, going towards the second half action. Covino, Doro, Dwight Walton, Mo Khan on this Friday night. You're watching this game on CBC Gem, YouTube, And of course, CEBL Plus and listening to TSN 690 Montreal, coast to coast. And we said it before, Dwight, how the format has changed for the season, and early credit wins could go a long way towards home court. And whoever wins this game, it could go a long way towards them maybe having that home game in their backyard.
Well, once again, because the season is starting so early, a lot of these rosters are in flux. But to your point, Mo, teams want to bank early wins, so when new players do come in and they have to assimilate players and reestablish chemistry, I think it would be very, very important to get some early wins early in the bank so they can sort of buffer what is to come in the middle of the season and building momentum towards a playoff run.
Well, it's a matter of growing into a force by late July, early August, and a chance to hoist that CEBL trophy that has been having its residence in Niagara the last couple years.
Well, I will admit, I know that this league is trying to establish themselves and have their own identity, but I do like the fact this season that you're going to have to earn home court rather than just being given it to them. I think it puts more importance on the regular season to see if we can see which teams can get some wins, and like I said, build momentum towards a playoff run.
And Scarborough will get things underway here. They will go left to right, Montreal right to left for the second half action. Montreal, when leading at halftime last year, they were 7-4. Scarborough, when they trailed at halftime, they were 1-11 last year. And we're underway here with Powell back on the controls. Williams on him. Powell. Here's Sims for the 45. Bullseye, and they're back up by 1.
Powell has had early success from distance. Right there, the defense came out to him. Nice pocket pass, finding Sims for the 3, giving the Scarborough Shooting Stars the lead.
And here is the lead back in. Freeman Liberty, another 2 points to his catalog of points.
Horrible half-court defense right there by the Shooting Stars. Freeman Liberty took full advantage of it.
Confidence on issue for Freeman Liberty. Powell also vibrant with confidence. Bediako on the pick. And here is Bediako. And a whistle and a foul on the Alliance with 9:15 left in this third quarter play.
Excellent pocket pass once again by Powell, finding the streaking Bediako towards the Alliance basket. The late low tag by Osawe, forcing the foul right there. There's Freeman Liberty. It's going straight down memory lane right there with the easy layup.
A few groans from the Montreal bench on that early foul. We'll see now what changes they can do. Osawe, personal foul number 3. And he might have a vacation stay on that bench for the next while or so.
That's what, once again, it is early in the season. Late low tag right there by Osawe. It was a foul. I think Frank made the late call, but it was the correct call.
And now Bediako to perhaps tie this game up. Parity confirmed. We're back to 45 apiece with 9:15 left in this third quarter play.
It's been a tale of 2 tapes here. Of course, Scarborough established themselves in the paint while the Alliance have been better from distance.
Freeman Liberty has been front and center. Gurry has been very quiet. Boucard will fancy the move from the elbow. And a rebound back to Tynes. And now Tynes will bring it back up with Freeman Liberty on him on the help from Hughes II. Bediako off balance, in for 2, using the gymnastics to his liking.
I think the Scarborough Shooting Stars have found something offensively using screen roll action. The pocket pass has worked to perfection early in this third quarter.
6-2 run, a minute 30 into this third quarter play. And here's number 6, Quincy Gurrier. Williams the 3rd. Gurrier on the byline. And he was caught in 2 minds. And Sims back on towards Powell.
Gurrier lacking confidence so far in this game.
Powell. Here's his 3. And he will go to the free throw line, and from nothing to something, free throws coming up here for Scarborough.
Williams thought he was able to get over the screen, but in his closeout, he didn't allow Powell any landing space. The correct call made by the official. Powell going to the free throw line for 3 shots.
And right now it's a 47-45 lead for Scarborough as well over Montreal. Don't forget, Lotto Max is a proud partner and presenter of the Eastern Conference game by Lotto Max. And right now, Dwight, the lottery is favoring Scarborough up by 3.
The poor ending to the half by the Alliance. the surge by the Shooting Stars has continued with their momentum here early in the third quarter. Powell looking to convert all 3 free throws and to give the Shooting Stars a 4-point lead.
Right now, Montreal looking shaky at the back, and Scarborough looking fluid at the front in terms of their attacking ability. They've had the blitzing finish for 2, and now Powell looking to add another point. And that is confirmed, and now they're on a 9-2 run to open up the second half.
Well, the second unit for the Lions came in and changed the momentum of the game in the first half. It looks like the same thing's going to have to happen for the Lions to come back in this game.
Freeman Liberty, open, Boucard from 45. And a rebound right back to Scarborough again with 8 left in this third quarter play.
Defense has been better. Defensive rebounding has been better.
And that was not a better shot from Powell. And here is Hughes the second the other way on his front foot. A slicing pass, and that had too much spice on that pass as Lou Williams could not get that cleanly.
It was the right idea by Lou Williams, rim running for the guard, trying to pin Powell into the basket. But as you said, Mo, the pass was a little bit too hot from Hughes. Scarborough ball.
Now it is Scarborough trying to rise amongst the ashes. They were stuck in mud for a bit, and now they're back up. Times. Here is the hammer blow again from Bediako. And they've had the romance of the rim quite a bit today.
It is strictly screen roll action for the Shooting Stars, and they've had nothing but success to give themselves a 7-point lead early in the third.
And right now, Scarborough inflicting heartache to the Alliance. And here is more heartache. And here is Powell. Will this be a timeout? And it will be confirmed. Points and a timeout. They want to talk about it. Scarborough's passion bucket is full with 7:13 left here in this third quarter play. Scarborough up by 54-45. You watch this game on CBL Live, YouTube, and CBC Jam from Verdun, Quebec.
Let's bring it on. It's game time. It's showtime.
At Cal Tire, we're here to drive the best value around with free rotations, price match, 0% financing, and free flat repairs. We take care of it all for the life of your tires. Chat with our team at caltire.com.
Welcome back here, Dwight Walton. You know, with the league having this partnership with the CBC, I hired the Fifth Estate to find out some information on Corino Doro. And here he is. Apparently he's working, but he's dressed in a cow outfit for St. Patrick's Day. I'm not too sure what's going on with the CBC standards when it comes to the uniform protocol here, especially with Corino Doro's wardrobe that he has going on. Your thoughts, Dwight? I know you're a fashion connoisseur.
No, listen, when it comes to fashion, that is definitely something I will not wear. It belongs with other people. That is not my style at all, Corino. Definitely not.
And here's a much toned down fashion look for Corino. Corino, your thoughts on this look that you had a few months ago?
Okay, so there's a story behind that look. I was covering a parade, and there's something called Kerry Dairy Cow, and I was doing the Irish parade, and it comes from Ireland, so I wore the cow onesie. I will not be wearing the cow onesie to Alliance games, but that's a good one, Mo. I'll get you back.
You could try, Dwight. You could try, Corino. Dwight's tried, and you could try, but I'm always 2 steps ahead of the competition, my friend. That's why I have a ghost account for my social media stuff. Here's Boucard, and he ghosts that shot. Back out it comes, a new 14 for the Alliance. Anderson inside the paint, and right now the Alliance, Dwight, to give you a stat here, they're up by 41-29. Scarborough's gone on a 25-4 run. We've seen this deja vu last year on this very court.
The momentum towards the end of the second half and early here in the first half, early in the second is definitely carried over.
Gurry back with it, 6:35 left in this third quarter play. And Gurry back with it, Powell on hand. And Boucard negotiating on the pirouette. Open 3. And right now, the lights are shining on Scarborough. and exposing the Lions in this ball game down by 9.
You can see it with Quincy Guerrier. He doesn't feel comfortable out there. A little bit rusty. He just needs to see the ball go in the basket. Like I said, he has that one field goal, but he has struggled from the free throw line. He needs to get off the schneid here in order for the Lions to come back.
Time's back over, and he almost got pickpocketed. Open 3 for Sims. And a rebound for Hughes the second. So right now the three-point shooting has not been as supreme and open from the corner pocket, and that is supreme from Boucard, and that's Tonic Boucard for the Lions.
The third time's the charm. Boucard has had early opportunities from distance. Right there, success.
Sims backdoor, and that is over, and that is a foul, and that will be 2 free throws coming up here for the Shooting Stars.
The paint touches for the Shooting Stars have definitely taken over this game here. But whatever the Alliance are doing on the offensive end, the Shooting Stars feel extremely confident in the half court on offense, getting anything they want currently at the rim, with Bediako being the beneficiary.
Johnson back in with 5:46 left, Gurria off, and now it will be Mitchell back in for the Scarborough attack as he'll tag out Sims. And for Tyrell Verdun, he knows there'll be reinforcements coming back sooner than later. And there's some old familiar faces that should be in the horizon for this Stars roster.
Taquavian Smith being one of them. When he comes, he's
not bad.
One of the better players that we have in the CEBL for sure. But I think Coach Verdun right now smells blood. Definitely wants to establish even more presence in the paint by having Bediako and Mitchell on the court at the same time.
Right now it's been limited productivity for the Alliance, losing that creative spark, and the Stars have found their spark. And now they're up by 8, 55-47, 5:40 left in this third quarter play. Boucard hit a 3 last possession. Trent Johnson hit a 3 in the first half. Hughes, the second, hit the first 3 of the season. Here is the shot from the flats. Splash. And Freeman Liberty gets them back a little bit closer, down by 5.
The Alliance got the Scarborough Shooting Stars defense to go from side to side. Defense broke down. Nice shot from the corner.
Mitchell, strong. Not that time. Boucard. Could this be the run of points for the Alliance now with 5:13 left in this third quarter? Freeman Liberty. Open from the flats. Back-to-back. Splash. Timeout called by Verdun. They want to talk about it. 5:06 left. And 3 clicks to the ice white. Montreal back in, down by 2.
Just like that, Mo, momentum has swung back into the hometown Alliance's favor with the 3 ball. Freeman Liberty, Jalen Anderson, Guillaume Boucard. Excellent comeback right now. When you talk about establishing the paint, you don't have to necessarily score with a big guy. As long as you get 2 feet in the paint, you can spray the ball up to your shooters, and that's what the Alliance have done in this momentum surge with 5 minutes to go in the third quarter.
8-1 run for the Alliance after that timeout called by Small, and now they're down by 2. What's being discussed right now for Scarborough in their huddle? Because you look at it right now for the third quarter highlights and what's been going through, Montreal's found the rhythm late.
Freeman Liberty getting the defense to come to his side, finding Boucard in the corner. Michael Hughes finding Freeman Liberty in the corner again for his own 3. And then here, manipulating the defense, gets in the paint, sprays the ball up to Jalen Anderson for a 3, causing or forcing Terrell Vernon, the head coach of the Shooting Stars, to call timeout and to stop the momentum from the surging Alliance.
And as we know, it is the first game of many for the Alliance at home. And bring your crew and experience game day like never before. Get Alliance tickets by scanning the QR code on your screen or visiting alliancemontreal.ca/tickets. So there's a QR code. Next game, Tuesday night, the return of Tavian Dunn-Martin back to Montreal, where he had quite the romance with the Rams here with his 3-point shooting. We'll see what the Mamba can do. Of course, Mamba off to a slow start with the Bandits on Thursday in the school day game.
Let's see what ATO Coach Vernon comes up with the Shooting Stars.
South of 5, they're down by 2, the Alliance, and here come the Shooting Stars. Mitchell, he's with the supply line, cutting through, and that might have been one pass too many from the Shooting Stars, and Bediako, Vernon, perplexed, and I don't think Bediako knows that he cannot challenge now.
That's right. The Alliance did a much better job guarding the screen roll action right there. Had the high tag, the stunt, forcing the turnover. Let's see if the Alliance can take over here.
Anderson from the center arc. And 50-50, and this will go back towards Scarborough. We've not seen much of Ben Stevens in this game here, Dwight, and you have to wonder if it might be his time to shine. He's always been influential when it comes to those rebounding numbers going here for the Lions.
Well, I like the role he's been put in, but I think Michael Hughes has been doing a pretty good job, which is keeping Ben on the bench. But right there, Ben shouldn't let that ball hit the back, just go up. It's going to be a goaltend, I think.
And that will be a confirmation, goaltend, easy points here. Again, talking point now for the Lions is that the missed free throws could be haunting them with them down by 4. But now the competition with...
It's going to be a three-point play.
A three-point play?
Oh, it should have been a three-point play.
So Max Odette having a quick question here. Let's go down to Camino Doro with another story that he's unearthed. Maybe it's about me this time, right, Walton?
We're going to find out.
Perhaps it is. Camino, take it away.
Mo, I was behind the bench for that Scarborough Shooting Star timeout, and the coach was talking about how his team needs to play better defense. The whole timeout was about defense and their defense assignments and making sure that they get to the spots that they need to get to. But overall, the timeout was also positive because he was encouraging his team, telling them that he likes what they are doing. Just play better defense. Mo?
Well, thanks so much, Kubina. That's been the issue at times. There's been spurts of dominance, a fortress for Scarborough. Remember, they were on a 25-4 run, and then they had the spurts that they gave up to Montreal. Can they lock it down now, Dwight, late in this third quarter play?
Well, you heard Kubina talk about how the reinforcements that Coach Verdun was talking about in the timeout. Yes, these guys, the Shooting Stars, they are professional basketball players, but they're a young group. So you heard Kubina talk about how Coach Verdun was positive, just trying to reinforce and keep his team confident.
Freeman Liberty repelled away. Right back at the blue card chance, 13 left in the shot clock. Shamanga's time. Down low, in the team. Freeman Liberty has found his confidence in rhythm so far.
Excellent pass to a cutting Freeman Liberty for the strong layup.
A diamond of a finish from the Platinum collection of his. High-low Mitchell. And that's from his Platinum collection, and they're back up by 4.
Dribble penetration by Powell has been successful all game long. Right there finds the cutting Mitchell with the strong finish.
3:44 left in this third quarter play. Open Boucard. Off the heel and into the hands of Powell with Montreal down by 4.
Boucard's going to have many opportunities. Just has to be confident and knock it down.
Powell negotiating, offering, looking, overcooked. And right into the hands of Mitchell. Into the hands it comes back to Anderson. And here come the Lions. This is a 5-on-3 for the Lions. Can they punish them? Here's the 3. Rebound. Freeman Liberty. Acrobatic and emphatic.
Freeman Liberty is definitely making his presence felt in his first game in an Alliance uniform. Let's see if he can give this crowd who's looking for something to cheer for. Here's Jalen Anderson in transition, finding Trent Johnson. Shot was unkind. Offensive rebound and creating contact with Uwat. Let's see if he can convert the all-important three-point play and get the Alliance to within 1.
Dwight, I know you've been to Scarborough a few times.
Several times in my
had
life,
Dwight
yes.
Walton Knight for the Scarborough Shooting Stars. It is season 5 from Scarborough. Be a part of the action from Toronto Pan Am Sports Center by scanning the QR code or visiting shootingstars.ca/tickets. We know Rob Black's a legend in Scarborough, but you are a close second behind him, Dwight Walton.
Thank you very much, Mo. Nice substitution here by Jermaine Small. Freeman Liberty was getting a little bit tired. Let's see if Jalen Anderson and Lou Williams can take over here on offense.
We're deep in the run-in of this third quarter. It is a 1-point lead, and it's now a 3-point lead, confirmed by Sims as he elevated himself over the Alliance fortress.
Sims taking advantage of the rookie Trent Johnson on the interior. Smart move.
And back with Anderson, and a foul by Thomas. And it's been front and center so far, and it's been moment of quality here and there, but it's been nip and tuck now with this 3-point lead in favoring Scarborough.
Well, I think we're in for a tough finish here. But again, both teams are trying to establish themselves. Let's see which play plays out.
Osawe watched closely by Johnson. Anderson. Osawe to his left. Inside the arc. And that lacked the purchase.
That's not the shot I think Jermaine Small wants Kevin Osawe to take. That was a contested 2 try to move the defense side to side and get a better shot than that.
2:32 left, 3-point lead for Scarborough. Backing up and using his lower extremities. Sims denied by Shimanga.
Excellent weak side defense by Shimanga. The ball was outletted to Trent Johnson, who never turned his back to see the ball coming his way.
Montreal had 3 blocks per game last year. They had no blocks in the playoff loss to Scarborough last season. And here's Mitchell in his first season. Switch of play. Johnson dancing still, and that goes into no man's land into the hands of the line, south of 2. Anderson on his front foot, overcooked. Shimanga cleanup. Anderson looking for part 2, and he was caught in 2 minds.
Yeah, he was caught carrying the basketball. Excellent call by the official. But I like the energy that both teams are bringing right now. Like I said, this is going to be a very, very important end to the third quarter. Here's Amir Sims on the interior, taking the contact, but Shimanga with the excellent weak side defense and the block shot. Here it is once again. Sims getting on the interior, Shimanga with the block.
Thomas in the block and 1. And he embraced the art of attacking, and he came up with a masterpiece finish, and now Scarborough up by 5.
Thomas with the dribble penetration, getting Lou Williams to turn his hips. Then here gets himself into the paint, uses the aggressivity of Williams to his advantage, creating the contact, and now at the line trying to finish an all-important 3-point play.
From pragmatic to extravagant, and here is Thomas on a 3-point success. And they're back up by 6 with 1:36 left. In this
Coach Verdun of the Shooting Stars has to like where his team is at right now. 6-point lead approaching the 4th.
Anderson. Gurria quiet so far for him in the alliance. Anderson on the interplay with Gurria. Can Gurria break it? 6 left in the shot clock. Here's Anderson. And Montreal's gone rather cold from the 3-point line in this third quarter play.
Excellent ball-to-ball, side-to-side move by the Alliance. Just going to get a shot.
Mitchell is fouled. And he's slow to get up, took a hard hit going to the plywood of the Verdun gym courts. And with 1:08 left, he will go to the free throw line.
Ever since the score was 40-31 for the Alliance, the Shooting Stars have done a much better job in their half-court defense, but in particular in their transition defense, which has limited the Alliance to primarily become a jump shooting team. They're relying on the 3-point shot, which they've had some success on so far tonight, but Scarborough has a chance to extend their lead.
Mitchell will add a bit of insurance policy to that. And remember, we have target score, not a final score. So these small little points will add up in the bottom line here. And as I said before, Montreal has missed 6 free throws.
It's a point of emphasis. We'll discuss it more as we approach the target score, but it has been a point of emphasis for Coach Small and the Alliance in training camp.
And Lou Williams went toe tap and remains Montreal ball with 11 left in the shot clock, 55 seconds left on the game clock.
Scarborough's defensive pressure have the Alliance a little bit disjointed. Let's see if they can get a good shot here out of this out-of-bounds play.
Shimanga. Here is Liberty Freeman. Liberty, I beg your pardon, back with it. From the center arc, right down St. Catherine Street, and they're down by 4.
Huge shot by Freeman Liberty, bringing the Alliance to within 4.
Technique flawless for him. Here is Thomas. Sims. From the corner pocket 3. And this is going to be Scarborough ball with 14 left in the shot clock, 26 left in the third quarter.
Nate Shimanga is doing his best job trying to keep Frank Mitchell at bay on the interior. Let's look for that. It's been a pretty fierce battle down low.
Sims, Thomas, 24 seconds left in the big clock. 8 left in the small clock. Powell, here's his launch. So, and it's stare down to the Alliance bench to add to it.
Very, very impressive shot with the shot clock winding down off the dribble by Powell from distance.
5 left on the game clock. Last roll of the dice for the Alliance. Freeman Liberty, cash, money.
Freeman Liberty tells Powell, whatever you can do from 3, I can do better. Huge shot by Freeman Liberty to end the third quarter. Let's see if the Alliance can build momentum, being down 4 as we approach the fourth quarter.
Coming up next, fourth quarter action. Montreal, Scarborough, Stars up by 4. Stay tuned here. YouTube, CBC Gem, CBC EBL Plus, TSN 690 from Verdun, Quebec.
Lotto Max now has more?
Oh, yeah. Like up to 90 new prizes of $100,000 on every draw.
Yeah, right. And aliens exist.
What? Lotto Max has more prizes?
Yep, that's more chances to win.
Sure, and horses can fly.
No way.
Cool.
Did you know that every CEBL game ends on a game-winning bucket? Yep, every single one. That's because we use something called target score ending, a thrilling twist that keeps fans locked in till the final shot. So what is the target score ending? Here's how it works. The first time the clock stops with 4 minutes or less left in the fourth quarter, the game clock is turned off. We enter target score time. We take the leading team's score, add 9 points, and that becomes the target score. Let's say it's 91 to 80. That means the first team to hit 100 wins. No ticking clock, no intentional fouls, just pure clutch basketball. It's fast, it's electric, and it guarantees that every game ends with a bang. Experience the target score ending this CEBL season.
To start this quarter, Coach Jermaine Small was telling the Montreal Alliance team that they need to play better defense and adjust to their defense assignments. Look for the Montreal Alliance to pick it up on defense. That is the message heading into the fourth quarter. Back to you, Mo.
Thanks so much, Kabina, and we'll see if they can pick it up here in this fourth quarter of action. And again, this was an up and down third quarter for both teams. It felt like Scarborough was about to pull away. Montreal came back within the vision of the rear view mirror. And here's some highlights from here, Dwight, courtesy of Javon Freeman Liberty, who has been a box office name on opening night for the Alliance today.
Well, as advertised, he was brought in late in training camp, but in his early indication in his first game with the Alliance, 25 points, knocking down huge shots late in the third quarter, keeping the Alliance within striking distance. Let's see what happens here in the fourth quarter.
Guerrier, Sims, open, Hughes, extra pass, Boucard, byline, in, and they're down by 2 with 9:44 left.
Excellent attack, using the baseline to his advantage and the rim to his advantage. Nice left-hand finish by Guillaume Boucard.
Point number 10 for Boucard in this game. Tynes, open, space from the center arc. And a rebound right back over to Anderson. Now he's on his gallop. Anderson, confidence, no fear, basketball on his finish right there.
Coach Verdun cannot be pleased with that transition defense. Alliance getting the ball off the backboard, coast to coast by Anderson.
And now the Alliance trying to get themselves going forward again here. They are back in the 68-68 game. It was a bit of a crisis for them not scoring points, but now they've solved that problem. And for Scarborough, Dwight, it's a problem for them that they can't finish off here. You see from the highlight from Anderson coming up.
There's Jalen Anderson getting the ball off the backboard in the horrible, terrible transition defense, allowing Anderson the easy layup.
Open Powell and Sitter, and his blushes will not be spared on that.
Powell tried to squeeze that layup in, iron unkind.
The iron repelled them away. Here is Guerrier, watched by Sims. Good matchup for these two heavyweights going at it today. Anderson's 3. And that clanks away into the hands of Tynes. Johnson going, and unfortunately this goes out of bounds in terms of the call against Montreal. If you're Scarborough, you're quite content with 8:38 left. We're 4:38 away from target time.
Yes, absolutely. And I think Coach Verdun here taking Powell out, getting Thomas in. Both Powell and Thomas have had success getting 2 feet in the paint and having some success at the rim. Powell more specifically, but Thomas has done a solid job tonight as well.
And we see Jermaine Small a little bit focused on the game right there.
Oh, very much so. And again, point of emphasis for Coach Small, I'm sure all the coaches across the CEBL, but Coach Small here in Montreal wants to give his team a chance to win in target score. So let's see how they approach it towards the end of the game here.
And the target right there for Johnson. And he comes up with the 2, and they're back up by 2 with 8:26 left.
Johnson hasn't had success from three-point range, but definitely at the rim with 3 dunks, and right there with a strong left-hand finish.
Point 10 for him. And for Javon Freeman Liberty, he gets tickled on his forearm. He's on 25 points only in this game.
Freeman Liberty's confidence, as you can see, Mo, has grown throughout this game, creating contact right there with Amir Sims as he went to the, but here's Johnson with his strong left-hand finish, creating some contact. And here's Freeman Liberty getting the blocking foul on Sims. Let's see if he can make these 2 free throws where the Alliance have struggled tonight.
And here is Freeman Liberty at the line right now. And don't forget, continuing their season, both Montreal and Scarborough will play on Tuesday, May 19th. Scarborough will play against Winnipeg at 11 a.m. in their home opener from the Toronto Pan Am Sports Center, which is the school game. And Montreal later on tonight, that night that is, will play the Saskatoon Mamba at the Verdun Auditorium at 7:30 p.m. ECU and I Dwight will be here. And we'll see what happens now for this game. Presently, Montreal down by 1 with 8:16 left in this match.
It's a 1-point deficit for the Alliance. Now we can definitely talk about those missed free throws and the offensive rebounds for the Shooting Stars.
And Montreal now 8 of 14 from the line. Thomas, a little hop step and a rebound for the Alliance and a chance to regain the lead. And here is the chance, and what? Freeman Liberty going full carnage on Scarborough, and Montreal up by 1.
Freeman Liberty got his shoulders past Bediako, got him on his hip, created contact, and with the nice finish high off the glass here in transition. Here we see Freeman Liberty sees Bediako, creates the contact, and finishes softly off the glass and converts the all-important 3-point play.
His own language, his own style, his own profile. He's been a modern vernacular for this Alliance attack that has had nothing from Quincy Guerrier. And meanwhile, it's been more of a team effort for Scarborough. And they hope to keep this game now within range, down by a score of 2, 72-70 with 7:40 left in this ballgame. Times, looking, loading, reloading from the corner, pocket 3. A rebound for Sawway, who's back in the game for the first time in this 4th quarter.
Excellent defensive possession right there from the Alliance. Let's see if they can convert.
And now the whistle here with 7:24 left. Again, we are, my math is correct, 3:24 away from the target time. But if you're the Alliance in Scarborough, pulling away here, and again, you look at this game here, Dwight, Montreal, when they are in a trail position coming into the 4th quarter, there were 2:13. Scarborough, they were 7-2 after leading 3 quarters of play, but right now, both teams in a nip-and-tuck battle.
Well, the Alliance definitely want to reverse that trend from last season with their first game here in this season. Right there, Michael Hughes II was trying to bury his defender under the basket the same way Mitchell and Bediako have done pretty much for the entirety of this game.
So right now, the talking point in this game, Dwight, for Montreal is that Quincy Guerrier has been a peripheral player in this matchup.
Yes.
It has been all Javon Freeman Liberty. Meanwhile, for Scarborough, you look at their effort right now, quietly, Miles Powell has gone about with his business with 22 points, Bediako with 14. That's been the reason why they are, well, they've held the lead here and there, but the reason why they've been in this conversation with Montreal in the second half, those 2 guys have been a firebrand for Scarborough.
Oh, 1,000%. Again, they definitely established themselves in the 3rd quarter with screen roll action. But listen, the man of the game so far is definitely Javon Freeman Liberty. Right here, creating contact off the offensive rebound, 3-point play. His shooting from distance has been on display. The short corner, right there from the 45, and right here, sizing up his defender, Frank Mitchell, and knocking it down from distance, and they're creating contact on the bigger player in Bediako with an important 3-point play. Let's see what kind of time out-of-bounds timeout right now Jermaine Small has drawn up for the Alliance with this possession.
Boucard, ambitious play, and somehow it's been Twister on the court for that ball. Jump ball arrow pointing towards Scarborough. And I don't think the execution of that play was smooth, but right.
Definitely not. Excellent hands by the defender on the inbounds pass, which created the havoc for the Alliance, and the possession arrow favors the Shooting Stars. Let's see if they can take advantage of this play right here. Scramble for the ball. There's Yoat again, Johnny on the spot. He has definitely provided energy on both ends of the floor in his stint on the court tonight.
So Montreal, on average, had 14 turnovers last year. They're at 14 today, and we have about 3 and change before target time. Johnson for the 45. Bullseye, and now they're back up by 1.
Johnson finally has success from downtown after having 3 dunks and a left-hand layup at the rim. All-important 3 from Johnson right there.
Boucard and Montreal now on their heels, and Scarborough on their toes. Asaway from his toes. And a rebound for Johnson with 6:44 left in this ballgame. Powell dancing his way through, and he bamboozled Boucard, but cannot get the finish. And the forensic finish not there for Mitchell, part 2. And into the hands of the Alliance, and they're thanking the basketball gods. Boucard back with it. Anderson, Boucard, give and go. Denied by Mitchell out of bounds. And this remains Montreal ball for Scarborough. That is block number 4.
You know, Mitchell is kicking himself, but he made up for it with a defensive block in transition. There's Powell with 1 miss. There's Powell with a 2nd miss. Mitchell with a 3rd miss. Mitchell with a 4th miss. Finally, the Alliance get it in transition, and Mitchell made up for the missed layups by blocking the shot on the other end.
I think they got it after the 3rd miss, right? 2:20 away from target. And here's the second, gets that through, and he autographed his way, unfortunately, onto Tynes, who gets helped up by Hughes second, inadvertently that way.
Correct no call by the official. Tynes never gave Hughes the chance to establish 2 feet for the layup.
Tynes can't get that. Mitchell denied, whistle, foul, and the monster that he is, Frankie Mitchell, will go to the line for 2 free throws.
It's gonna be about the paint play right now, Mo, down the stretch of this game. There's Mitchell with yet another offensive rebound. Guillaume Boucard felt that he got all ball on the block shot, but the energy and the effort is what got Mitchell the call at the free throw line.
At St. Bonaventure, he had 139 offensive rebounds in his final year in the NCAA. But he loves playing in Montreal. When he was here with Canisius a couple years ago at Place Belle for the NCAA games, he was a star among stars. Now he's playing for the Shooting Stars this season.
Without question, but if you see his size, he definitely uses his size to his advantage, and he has a mean streak as well, which is what I like what he brings to the table.
Osaway, Montreal down by 1. Here is Boucard. He has 10 points. The hot hand. Here is Boucard, the second hot hand. The jump step, looking, well defended, jump ball, whistle, and we arranged Montreal ball.
It's unfortunate for Kellen Tynes because Max Odette made the jump ball call, but if he had waited, if the call was a split second later, they were off to the races for a transition easy layup.
The advantage was nearly there.
Oh, there was no question it was there. No question about it.
7 left in the shot clock. Tough shot. And that will clank its way through to the hands of Mitchell and back over to Tynes. We're about 1:30 away from target time. Open, transition 3, smooth.
All Javon Johnson had to see was 1-3 go down. Now he's feeling really comfortable. That was a huge 3 as we approach the target score.
And that could be a collector's item and a foul on Tynes. That will be the 14th foul on Scarborough. And for Tynes, a pantomime reaction towards the officiating. And now it will bring back Gurry along with Anderson. No subs for Scarborough, but Tynes, it appears, will get a quick discussion with his staff, and it appears that Freeman Liberty might have suffered a cramp.
Yeah, he's dealing with cramps. He's played a whale of a game tonight. I'm sure he needs some fluids, which is what he's intaking right now. But it's going to be very, very important that they solve this cramp issue as we approach target score. The Alliance are within 4 right now. Coach Verdun and the Shooting Stars definitely feel good about their opportunities as we approach the target score time here.
Yeah, right now the target of the highlights here for Javon Johnson, who has been a menace so far for the Shooting Stars against the Alliance today.
There's Javon Johnson with one of his three dunks. There he is with the flat-footed block. There he is with the strong finish at the rim. then he makes his first three, and then he makes another three in transition right here, forcing Jermaine Small and the Alliance to call a timeout as we approach target score here. Very, very important timeout for both teams, the Alliance in particular, as they're dealing with the star of the game so far, Javon Freeman-Liberty, and his cramping issue. Let's see what happens here as we go forward. Very, very important timeout right here for both teams.
He's enjoyed the spotlight. It's a guy that you can't take your eyes off of. He's been the headliner so far.
He's been terrific tonight, yes.
Do you take him out, Dwight, for the final at least 120, give him a respite to regain his strength, or do you keep him out there, Dwight? I know he's got to go off.
Well, he has to go off for one possession, but it's going to be very, very imperative because he's going to be key in the target score in order for the Alliance to win this basketball game. He needs to be on the court for the Alliance to win.
And the spotlight now turns to Quincy Gurry on 9 points. Very quiet evening for him. Backdoor, well defended by Scarborough. Tynes using his telescopic arms to take that away.
Hughes had success early in the game, but right there, a crucial turnover here in the fourth.
And that might have been a little too cute for Johnson. It remains Scarborough ball. 15 left in the shot clock. Coach Verdun barking out instructions. Remember, his last time as head coach of CEBL was a loss to Vancouver on this court with Calgary 2 years ago.
Yep.
Mitchell, Tynes, looking, loading, deferring back out to Mitchell again. Strong moves, soft touch, Bambi that he is, and now they're back up by 6.
Mitchell took his time, got to his spot. Nice, soft, left-handed finish.
Anderson, up and over. And a rebound for Mitchell.
Unfortunate miss right there by Anderson. The Alliance need to get stops as we approach the target score.
Nails non-existent for the Alliance supporters. And a whistle and a foul, and all of a sudden now there's a Verve being picked up by Scarborough, up by 6, 29 seconds away from target, and they can add a little bit more gloss to their lead of
the backcourt. Here's Thomas once again manipulating the defense, getting Williams on his side, creating contact, and earning 2 crucial free throws as we approach target score. I love the backcourt tandem of Powell and Thomas tonight. Powell in particular has scored, I believe, 24 points tonight, but Thomas has had some success himself with Johnson and the interior play of Bediako and Mitchell dominating the game for the Shooting Stars.
And right now Powell is dominating the line. He's on 23 points, 8 of 8. And again, we talk about the missed free throws, 7 by the Alliance, and they're down by 7. It might have been a bad omen, Dwight, when Gurry went to the line was 0-4, and now they're down by 8, and they have to get a couple more buckets.
This is a crucial offensive possession here as we approach the target score for the Alliance.
Gurry, he has to be crucial to this argument, and he will go to the free throw line, and a foul on Johnson. So the clock stops, but Montreal get 2 more chances at the line.
Well, Johnson may not be happy with the foul here, but if here's Quincy Guerrier on the interior, Johnson felt he played pretty good defense. Looked like he did, but Quincy Guerrier is 0 for 4 from the free throw line, so this may end up working out for the Shooting Stars. Let's see what happens.
A test of fiber for Guerrier. And that will get them slightly closer, down by a touchdown of 7.
That is a huge make for Guerrier. Let's see if he can make the second free throw. Then it's going to behoove the Alliance to have a huge stop defensively as we approach target score.
And he's now 1 of 6. And you have to think those 5 missed free throws could be crucial and the talking point of maybe a Scarborough road win. Powell, he's on his high horse, and Powell can't get that through. Osawe will save it, and now we're inside 4 minutes, and Montreal trying to add a little bit more to their deficit, trailing this game by 7. Williams the third, and that might have been a shot too quickly.
See, the Alliance right now, they can't commit a foul because the next foul, they're in the penalty, so they have to play this out as we approach target score. We're in target score right now with the whistle has to blow.
Can they be resistant against this Shooting Star attack? Another rebound for Anderson. Here he comes. Trailing through, Lou Williams the third. Anderson looking for the cutter. Gurrier is the cutter. And Gurrier will get the 2, and now they're down by 5.
Excellent finish. Now they got to play defense again without fouling. Don't want to put him in the penalty. Can't give up a layup, though.
And that is going to be back into the Montreal hands. Here's Gurrier on the 2-on-1. And he was caught in 2 minds, trying to be a little bit too cute on that pass, and Mitchell, being what he is, a monster that he is. Timeout now on the court. We're now in target time. Scarborough up by a score of 5. The target score is 91. You're watching this game on CBC Gem, CBL Plus, TSN 690. Stay tuned for target score time.
What keeps me going? Under the heat of the sun, or in the heat of the moment. When climbing for even one more second seems like too much. Whether you're reaching for your goal or busy setting new ones, everyone hits their limit, but that limit has a reset. Scientifically formulated to hydrate faster in the moments that matter. Electrolyte, instant hydration.
Next bucket wins. Target score time is the best time of a game. The energy, the drama.
That anything can happen. Oh my goodness! Can you believe this guy?
Big players step up in big time.
He is cooking.
So, Dwight, you got replaced and explain the target time rules here. AI is taking over here. They had the commercial before. So, let's talk about this now, Dwight. Scarborough is up by 5. They need a target number of 91 here. So, what has to change for Montreal to maybe come back in this game?
What I wanted to say before we went to break, Quincy Guerrier committed the cardinal sin. Whenever you're on a fast break, especially on a 2-on-1, the bounce pass was imperative to make, but because he didn't make the bounce pass, Scarborough got their hand on it defensively, enabling the whistle to stop play. So instead of it being a 3-point game, right now it's a 5-point game, which puts even more pressure on the Alliance. To your point, the team leading, you add 9 points to their score, so the target score is 91. So the Alliance, if they want to win this basketball game, have to outscore Scarborough 14 by 5 in this quarter. It's going to be difficult, but let's see what they can do.
You want the good news or bad news first?
Give me the bad news first.
So Montreal last year, when they were trailing Quincy Target, they were 1-14. Good news for Scarborough, they were 10-2 when they, or I beg your pardon, 8-1 when they went into Target, leading the game.
Well, this is a point of emphasis right now, and we don't see Freeman Liberty in the game, so those cramps definitely causing an issue.
It's cramping his style. Open, Boucard from the flats. And a rebound right back to Johnson. So we're in target time now. Scarborough need 9 more points for the victory. Johnson, transition 3. And a rebound, last touch by who? And this should remain Scarborough possession.
No, it's off Scarborough. Charles Bediako definitely went up strong for the offensive rebound. Great effort, fortunate for the Alliance. Let's see if they can convert.
Yeah, right now, Montreal trying to change this angle. So again, no Javon Freeman Liberty, who has 25 points in this game. And all eyes on Quincy Guerrier, Osawe, and others to really step up here. Dwight, the veterans, remember, this is the inexperience of Scarborough against the veteran core of Montreal. You have to think the vets will be the ones to come through now for Montreal if they pull off the win against Scarborough. Freeman
Liberty right now is on the exercise bike. They wish he was on the basketball court. The Alliance desperately need him here in target score.
This is a Peloton. Those are pretty good. Here is Guerrier back with the veteran, second-year player with the Alliance, and he comes up with a veteran move. They're down 5.
Quincy Guerrier has made some pretty big baskets towards target score, and now here in target score. Big defensive possession for the Alliance.
Beautiful weight on that shot by Guerrier. Degree of angle becoming very tight. Open, Sims, drive-by, Sims in, left, and he got fouled, and he will go to the free throw line and remain small by his body expression. A sense of frustration on his mark.
Yes, but it is the correct call because Quincy Guerrier was inside the block charge circle. That's why the foul was called. I believe he had established a defensive position, but he was inside the circle. And good news for the Alliance as Freeman Liberty returns to the court down 3 for the Alliance.
So Freeman Liberty will have to gut it out, to use a good old hockey term out there.
100%, yes, sir.
Third period of action for hockey. But right now, Montreal down by 3. Sims at the line on 7 points. His first free throws. And not the most exquisite. He was 85% in Napoli. Beautiful pizza, by the way, in Naples.
That is correct.
I tasted that in Montreal, and he's 0-2. A rare miss for him. And now a chance for Montreal to get this down to 1 or tied up at 82 on a 3-point conversion. Again, target number is 91. 82-79 for Scarborough over the Alliance. High-low open, Boucard. Here he is, attacking with vigor. And the forensic finish by Hughes, second, flexing his bicep.
Michael, nice, strong, left-handed drive by Boucard. And there was Michael Hughes creating space. Johnny on the spot with the right-handed tap-in.
Powell. Scarborough a little bit colder than before. The pirouette denied. Montreal rebound. Hughes a second on his backside. And a cul-de-sac, and now the jump ball looking, and this is going back to who? And somehow it finds its way to Montreal, but there will be a violation because, again, the ball did not advance past half court.
8-second violation. That was the correct call. You cannot call a foul on that play. It was a loose ball. Both teams are playing hard. Excellent defensive stance right there. Although Hughes, off the defensive rebound, lost his balance, you could question whether he was tripped, bumped, or fouled on the play, but I think it was the correct no call. And now an important offensive possession as Coach Verdun called the timeout here to draw the all-important play.
Timeout called by Scarborough. Guino Doro, Dwight Walton, Mocon. Stay tuned for the post-game with Guino Doro with the player of the game. And right now, there's been some dogmatic moments in this game. There's been crisp moments in this game. Possession back in Scarborough's hands. Do you go to the three-headed monster, whether it's Powell, whether it is Mitchell, or even Sims, who's picked up his game in this second half?
Well, I would think Coach,
Coach Verdun.
Coach Verdun is going to drop some kind of screen roll action, which they have had success so far in this second half specifically. Now, the perimeter shooting of Javon Johnson and the inside presence of Sims has also helped, but I'm sure in some way, shape, or form, the basketball is going to be in Powell's hand, and Coach Verdun is going to allow him to make the decision for himself or to create something for one of his teammates.
Of course, for the Alliance, they'll play Sask on Tuesday, travel to Ottawa next Saturday, and they'll be home to the defending champions NRL at the end of May. And again, for Scarborough, they will have a hamburger of games coming up themselves. They'll play Sask twice next week. But this has been the focus here, the point of contention. Scarborough 82, Montreal 81.
Did you say hamburger?
A hamburger. I'm a vegetarian, right? I don't eat meat.
Roll with the Lions, absolutely.
And here is the line of the night coming up. Johnson, jab step. Johnson, one dribble too many. And back with it is Freeman Liberty. A chance to take the lead again for the Alliance. Osawe back over to Freeman Liberty. On the switch with Sims. Eyeball to eyeball, looking. Teardrop. Smoke.
Javon Freeman Liberty. As I mentioned, his presence is paramount in target score. Let's see if he can finish this game out.
High standards set by him. Here's Powell. Mitchell about to come back in for the Shooting Stars. Powell against Guerrier. Powell snaking his way through, and Boucard taking that away.
Scarborough Shooting Stars offense has become stagnant. They no longer move the defense side to side.
Corner pocket three. And a rebound to Johnson. Boucard has gone very cold from long range late in the second half.
Boucard has had many opportunities from the three-point line. More often than not, he hasn't had success tonight.
In Alabama, albeit a very brief cameo with the Crimson Tide and Nate Oates this past season.
A cameo?
A very drive-by. I would say it's more of a drive-by than a cameo.
Thank you.
A guest star, on the episode. He hits that one. We're back to 83 apiece. Mitchell back in for Bediako. No subs from Montreal. So Jermaine Small will go with this current lineup. Do you think the distance, unless otherwise?
Very nice luxury for the coach of Scarborough to have Mitchell and Bediako on the interior for Coach Vernon.
And back over it comes. Here is Freeman Liberty. Boucard. Guerrier dancing his way through. Stopping, and that is taken away. Guerrier part 2. The second bite of cherry is sweeter for him.
For whatever Quincy Guerrier did in the first 3 quarters, he has been spectacular towards target score, and here ends target score.
Montreal needs 6 more. The pirouette from Mitchell. He might have been dizzy on that one. Montreal needs 6 more to win. Scarborough 8 more to win.
$1 million move, but a worse finish right there for Mitchell.
Oh, you can say the ending of that line. Guerrier from the flats. And that lacked the quality.
Not sure if that was the right shot right there for Guerrier, but he was feeling good about himself.
And right now, Sims is fouled by Freeman Liberty. And this will bring up another attempt here for Scarborough, down by 2. They led going to target, and now they're down by 2. And here's the highlight coming up for.
There's the move right there. Initial strip right there by Sims on Guerrier. But the stick-to-itiveness by Guerrier, stuck with it, strong left-hand finish.
A lot of huffing and puffing right now from both teams. You see them holding their shorts. It's game number 1, real live action for most of these guys. Again, about a week or so of training camps, not really the ceilings just yet for both these teams.
Fatigue definitely playing a factor, and 2 huge free throws right there by Sims, who had missed 2 previous free throws pretty badly, but he's showing his stick-to-itiveness by making those 2 free throws.
Dwight, I know it's Friday night. You might have to cancel your 10 o'clock plans because right now this game is into like quadruple overtime equivalent. It's 85-85. 6 points needed for either side to win this game. Target score of 91 to win, Dwight. All right, take us into Scarborough's mindset. What's going through their minds now with them back to parity with Montreal?
Well, of course, defensively, they got to get a stop here as Coach Small is trying to drop a very important after timeout play for the Alliance. Then once they get a stop, or if the Alliance score or whatever happens, you definitely know the basketball is going to be in Powell's hands. He has had success either scoring or distributing to his teammates. All eyes and the focus by the Alliance should be on Powell offensively. He has been dynamite tonight on the offensive end.
All right, let's go through Jermaine Small and the Alliance mindset, because they have scratched, they clawed, they chiseled their way back in this game.
It's all about Javon Freeman Liberty, right? Because one side is Powell for the Alliance, is Freeman Liberty. Let him dance, let him do what he has to do, create for himself or create for others. But right now, coming out of this timeout, it's imperative that they score to put the pressure on the Scarborough Shooting Stars to get a score of their own.
Don't forget, Cubino Dora will have the post game with the player of the game.
Yes, sir.
He's gone MIA after that Cal picture of his
well,
on national TV.
I just saw him running behind us here, so maybe he's trying to get some more information for us.
I saw a little conversation with him and Jamie Tan trying to get something on me.
That is.
I have emailed HR about employee harassment.
Corbina has definitely vowed to get you back throughout this season. So be careful, beware.
You can try. And right now, it's been a trying game with these two teams. 85 apiece, 6 more to win. Target time or a slip. And the logo right there for Freeman Wright, who will get back on his twos. And you can just see the pain on his face. Masawe's 3. And again, maybe not the right shot selection for the Alliance.
Horrible possession. Unfortunate for Freeman Liberty that he slipped on the midcourt logo. That it was an unfortunate 3 miss by Osawe.
Times. Powell. Could this be the lead? And he's fouled instead, and will go to line for 2 free throws. And Quincy Guerrier is starting to pick up the foul numbers going against them in this game.
As I said all night long, as I think Coach Verdun feels pretty confident when Powell has the ball in his hands. He has made life miserable for the Alliance tonight. Let's see if he can go to the free throw line here and knock down 2 important free throws.
And now it will be a chance to add a bit of insurance policy here for Powell, who again on 20+ points. 9 of 9 from the free throw line this evening. Ten of 10.
Miles Powell has been confident all night long from the opening tip. Now here in the target score, he's been terrific. Again, making life miserable for the Alliance either for himself or for his teammates.
Well, Powell and Freeman Liberty were teammates at DePaul for a couple years, so they know each other.
So it's kind of personal tonight.
Yeah, it's a little mirror-on-mirror action right now.
Yes, 100%.
So we'll see what happens now with Scarborough back up by 2, needing 4 to win. Montreal needs 6 points to win this matchup. Post play, Gurrier. Backdoor, Boucard. And now down by 4 more to go. And at 87-87 game.
Javon Johnson lost his man, Guillaume Boucard. We're going to nice backcourt cut for Quincy Guerrier. Nice left-hand reverse layup.
Powell. Fouled by Hughes II. And Powell, you can see he has used his full extremities of his body, exhausted to the maximum, and now will go to the free throw line and perhaps gain Scarborough 1 score away from victory.
Clean block up top by Hughes II, but definite body contact. The correct call made by the official. Powell trying to gather himself, take a little bit of time. He knows how important these free throws are to give his team a 2-point lead and be 2 points away from winning this basketball game as we approach the target score of 91.
And the Ole Ole chant is starting to make its way through. The octaves starting to pick up here from the Verdun faithful in this gym. Powell, 11 of 11 as he defers the Ole Ole chant to the stands.
In my tribute to Stuart Scott, Powell at the free throw line is as cool as the other side of the pillow.
I don't have that with my fellows. I need to get that figured out.
He has been confident all night from the free throw stripe. Now, very, very important defensive possession for the Scarborough Shooting Stars.
Scarborough in the pole position, needing 1 more score to win. Powell, and that is off of who? And this is going back to Scarborough and a chance to present the kill shot now at their fingertips.
Terrific defensive stop right there by the Shooting Stars. Let's see if Powell and the Shooting Stars can end it on this possession.
Montreal down by 2. They need 4 points to win. Scarborough needs just 2 more to win this game. Powell looking. And a rebound for Hughes II as Montreal a state of execution. Freeman Liberty looking, kicking, and that was sent towards Maisonneuve Street. And I don't know if they were on the same telepathy as Vernon will call. Coach Vernon will call a timeout to set up maybe the last moment of glory.
I don't know if Freeman Liberty felt confident right there. He is definitely struggling with the cramps in his legs, but he knows that he has to be on the court. That was an unfortunate turnover. That pass was a little bit too hot for Guillaume Boucard in the corner.
That's turnover number 16 for the Alliance. Fabino Doro, Dwight Walton, Mo Khan, 89-87 lead for Scarborough over Montreal. Scarborough needs 2 more points to win. Montreal needs 2 more scores that equals to 91 points or more. And here's some highlights from that miscue pass from Freeman Liberty.
There was the unfortunate turnover right there by Freeman Liberty. You can see in this highlight, he is struggling as he walks back towards his bench. But right here, Coach Duval is trying to write up the correct play to end this game on a good possession. But once again, we are going to see Miles Powell with the basketball. Let's see what decision he makes. He tried to be a hero the last possession, but I think he has every right, especially because of the game that he's having. The ball's definitely going to be in his hands. Let's see what he can navigate for a Shooting Stars win tonight.
That's the voice of Dwight Walton, Fabino Doro, Mo Khan on this Friday night. Don't forget, Tuesday we're back. Sask will be in town. The Mambo will take on the Alliance before they head on the road to the nation's capital to play the Ottawa Blackjacks, who looked very commanding against Calgary earlier this week.
Listen, we all know that there's talent all across the CEBL. We're in store for a great season this summer. We're fortunate enough to broadcast these games. This league is just a whole lot of fun. Looking forward to a great summer.
And now it is back to Powell and the Shooting Stars. Here is Mitchell against Hughes II. Mitchell, the turn. And hit with it is Freeman Liberty. They have numbers in favor. 5-on-3 if they push it. Guerrier. And another bad pass. And here's a chance coming up. And just like that on this Friday night, Scarborough is serious in the Montreal skyline as they win 91-87 over the Alliance.
Inexperience beats experience in game number 1 between Scarborough and the Alliance tonight. Unfortunate turnover in transition by the Alliance, enabling the easy transition pass for Amir Sims to end this exciting game on a dunk.
And some might call it a smash and grab, but this was what you call a heist by Scarborough as they come up with a commanding road win for Coach Verdun in Scarborough. They were down by 11, down by a score of 41-29, and they went on the run here, Dwight, and they win by 4 over the Lions in a big division win over their division rivals.
The momentum that the Shooting Stars gained at the end of the second quarter, going into halftime, it continued early on into the third quarter. Yes, the Alliance came back and took the lead, but I think that gave this young, inexperienced group, coached by Coach Verdun, the confidence to know that if they can keep it close toward target score, they can come out with the victory. And with the play of Miles Powell and the rest of the Shooting Stars team, they came up with the win tonight.
They come up with the win tonight, and we will go down to Cobrino Doro, who will be with the player of the game. And maybe he'll be joined by a few other Shooting Star members in this post-game chat as they will now go to center arc for the center court, the Alliance, and we'll be joined now in a moment or two with Cobrina as he is now with the player of the game for the Shooting Stars, and that is none other than Miles Powell.
Hey, Miles, you guys got the win. It was a hard-fought battle. How did you guys do it?
Staying together. This is our first time. It's every first time in the league, from top to bottom, from coach to the last player on our bench. So, look, we a family. You see how everybody's there? We stick together when times got hard. And look,
So I do want to ask you, you mentioned it right there. It is all of your debuts in the CEBL. How would you rate the experience?
We got the win. That's all that matters. So as long as we stay together and we got the win, and nothing else matters.
What can you say about the men behind you that helped the team get this win?
It started from a group effort. It wasn't one single man. Like I said, the bench was ready to play when their number was called, and everybody, like I said, we came out and we figured our ways out to come out on top, and that, like I said, that's all that matters.
Thank you very much, and go celebrate the win.
Thank you, my man. Yes, sir. We back to Scarborough.
Montreal losing to Scarborough 91-87. A very happy Miles Powell and the Shooting Stars. Coming up after the break, we'll wrap it up here. Scarborough coming up with the first win in the first strike against the Alliance. They win 91-87. You're watching this game on CBL Plus, YouTube, listening to TSN 690 and CBC Jeff. Stay tuned for the post-game wrap-up.
At Cal Tire, we're here to drive the best value around with free rotations, price match, 0% financing, and free flat repairs. We take care of it all for the life of your tires. Chat with our team at caltire.com.
All right, welcome back here. The next CEBL broadcast coming up here in this young season of ours. We'll be Saskatoon and Montreal on Tuesday night. That will happen, but don't forget, before that, though, Saturday, the Mama play the Sea Bears in the Battle of Provinces. That is going to be 8 p.m. tip on Saturday night on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus. And to wrap it up as well, it'll be the Bandits visiting the Edmonton Stingers at 9 p.m. East, 7 p.m. Mountain. Those are going to be 2 heavyweight fights. Look forward to seeing Mamba coming up as well. Dwight, looking at this game now, final thoughts on this matchup here before we wrap it up.
Listen, it was a great opening night to the season. An unfortunate loss for the Alliance, but a great start to the season for the inexperienced young group coached by Terrell Vernon, the Scarborough Shooting Stars.
Well, the final score tonight, Scarborough wins 91-87. On behalf of Cobrino Doro, Dwight Walton, Mocon, the staff and crew here, wish you a good evening and a great night. We'll see you Tuesday, Saskatoon, Montreal, on Tuesday night here from Verdun. Bye for now.